Good morning, everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, and it looks like, at least temporarily, at least early on, the impression is the Phillies can play with those big, bad Los Angeles Dodgers. They take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, as predicted by certain somebody in the studio. They got great pitching performances from Jesus Luzardo, who, listen, he looks like a stud, and we'll have to hold off on that. But the Phillies went head-to-head and toe-to-toe with the Dodgers and beat them in 2 of 3. There are a lot of things we can take from this series. There are a lot of things that we can complain about as well. But 2 of 3 is 2 of 3. And when I look at the Dodgers, I go, okay, they're going to probably get better. But the Dodgers have been touted as this impenetrable starting pitching staff with bullpen and starters, with Ohtani, the best player in the league, who apparently didn't want to play this weekend. I don't know what was going on with him. He looked terrible. 1 for 11 and made a boneheaded decision to try to steal a base, a needless base to try to steal, which could help a man get out of an inning. There are some problems that we'll talk about, but 2 of 3 is 2 of 3. Phillies ring the bell early on in the season that they're not intimidated by the supposed best team in baseball. Bill Colarulo is with us. Ray Dunn is with us as we start another week. Bill, what did you think of that Phillies weekend?
Well, good morning, Mike, and you're right. You called it 2 of 3. You even predicted which games they would win and which games they would lose, so I give you credit there. See, here's the thing, and I don't want to be negative today because I'm extremely excited that you just took 2 of 3 against the last season's World Series champs, against a team as dominant as the Dodgers, and you did it on Sunday, battling back twice. But I was already high on this Phillies team coming into the season. I predicted them to win 95 games, and the reason why I was so high on them was for 2 reasons. I was excited about the new additions that Dombrowski brought on, and I was hopeful that some of the guys who had down years towards the end of last season were going to bounce back. This weekend, I learned that there's still major question marks in 2 of the 3 additions. Like, you have no questions about Jesus Luzardo. Unbelievable start, 7 innings, 0 earned runs, only gives up 2 hits. Love it. Jordan Romano's terrible. And there could be a major issue with his velocity being way down. What's going on with him? Is he hurt? He says he's not. But Jordan Romano is a major issue now in that bullpen. You were nervous about the bullpen already coming into this season, and Romano hasn't done anything to make me feel good. I was excited about Max Kepler in left field, and even though he's an upgrade from Austin Hayes, he hasn't necessarily done anything to make me confident that they have an answer in left field. So those are the new additions. But then I look at, the current players that were already here last year that I was expecting to take a leap. I was excited for Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is terrible. I know he makes that big catch in center field. The guy is terrible at the plate. He's on pace for another 145 strikeouts this season. He can't hit left-handed pitching. He can't hit the ball. So you got issues with Marsh. Alec Bohm already has to be sat down on Sunday, and they could say it was a planned rest day. It's not a planned rest day against the Dodgers. It's because he was sulking again this past weekend. So when I look at it, I'm excited. I don't want to be negative. They took 2 of 3. They're a good baseball team. But some of the things that I was really excited about, I'm not as excited now.
Wow, look at you. 2 of 3 they take from the Dodgers, and all we get from you is venom.
Well, it's just, come on, man. Like, with Alec Bohm, really? After everything that happened in the postseason last year, and you had to be benched for your attitude.
Did he get benched because he was sulking?
I think he was. Now, they said it was a planned rest day.
Well, listen,
I think it was
the other
insulting.
part of that is that this guy right now wants to give Sosa as many at-bats as he can, and he should. And now, here's the problem now with Sosa, I believe. I think they're going to try to overplay him now. They're going to play him at second. They're going to play him at third. They're going to try to play him in left field. They're going to do that. And I don't know if that's a good idea, other than to just keep him in his place. You're right about the bullpen. The bullpen is flimsy. And, it's flimsy from the top half, much less the bottom half. If you're talking about guys like Kerkering and Romano, now Alvarado obviously threw a lot of pitches, and, he's been very successful. But the Romano thing and Kerkering hasn't looked that sharp, and Strom has looked okay. Yeah, and that's before you get to the bottom half of the bullpen. So, but I look at the Dodgers, and they had the same problems. There wasn't anybody they brought in. It was lights out. They struggled the whole weekend with that bullpen.
Yeah, they did. And then, obviously, the starter, Glasnow, completely melts down in the rain, which was just embarrassing.
What a baby. Let me tell you something. If I'm a team leader on that team and I see that performance, I'm thinking when they went out to the mound, he's stomping around there trying to get the mud out of his cleats. If I was a leader, I go, yo, Holmes, hey, how about if you grow up? How about if you play up to your ability here and help us out? Yeah. That's what I would say to him. You can't do it on the mound, and you probably can't do it in the dugout either. But maybe somebody ought to take that guy aside and say, dude, you're acting like a child.
Yeah, it was embarrassing, man. It was embarrassing. But I give the Phillies credit because once they noticed that he was melting down, they walked the bases loaded, didn't they? It was 3 straight walks that they get the bases loaded. And then Castellanos, sitting on a first pitch fastball, puts it into the seats for a grand salami. So that was awesome. So, there was a lot of positives. I don't want to be Mr. Negative. It's just that a lot of the things I was excited about, I think got exposed are still major question marks. And, let's be honest here. Let's call it like it is. The only reason they won on Saturday was because Ohtani makes that ridiculous decision to steal second. Romano was melting down.
Let's give credit to the catcher
JT
who threw 2 guys out there as well. You got to have good throws to get those guys out. I don't know what Ohtani was thinking. Like he's supposed to be the best baseball player ever, right? And I go, what is the risk reward there? Well, what are you trying to do that's a reward? You're down 3 runs. If you were the tying run and you want to get to second base, I get it. You're down 3. What are you possibly thinking?
It made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. And when we talk about some of the bad decisions, I guess we could also look at Saturday's game where you got Stott running on a hit and run to avoid the double play, and then Schwarber ends up hitting into a double play. That was in that was the end of the game, or was that in the 5th inning? Now I'm trying to remember what that was. I think that was the 5th inning, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was in the 5th inning. So here's where I had a bigger issue. I just go back to Saturday. I thought that Rob Thompson made a lot of good decisions this weekend, but one of the ones I hated. You're losing 3-0. It's the 5th inning. JT walks. Stott gets a single. You got runners on first and second. The Dodgers go to the bullpen. They bring in a left-handed pitcher to face Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is terrible. So you don't pinch hit for Brandon Marsh, and you don't bunt the runners over. So now what happens? Marsh hits a fly.
Who are you pinch hitting?
Bring in Sosa at that point. You got a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Bring in Sosa. Maybe even let him bunt. Bunt the guys over. I think it was a 3-1 game at that point.
He can't bunt. he's made at least 5 failed attempts at bunting.
Exactly. So if he can't hit and he can't bunt and there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound, I thought they should have at least pinch hit there if you're not going to try to bunt the runners over. And then what happens is Schwarber hits into the double play because you're running Stott, which I wasn't as angry about that decision. I know people were angry, you can't hit and run with Stott when Schwarber's at the plate. I just think you should have bunted the runners over or at least brought in a pinch hitter.
Well, when you steal, you're trying to stay out of a double play, too. So I don't have a problem with that either. I don't know. JT didn't score on that play. I'm thinking, was he really busting his ass? I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look at that. Nobody really has brought that up. We didn't have a shot of what JT was doing down there to score the run before the out.
Well, he had a tag. So I guess he's tagging from third. Stott gets thrown out at first, and he's only halfway, and he gets thrown out. So I don't think even if Realmuto is flying, he's going to make it.
I don't know.
There was a lot of positives, but I also just noticed some issues that I'm worried are going to rear their ugly head as the season progresses. And mainly it's the back end of the bullpen.
All right, so we'll talk about it. Ray, your thoughts about what you saw this weekend? Did they send a message to these big bad Dodgers?
I think they just reminded the league of who they are. I don't know if it was necessarily a message to the Dodgers. This is a team that, when rolling, can beat anyone. And it's funny that, Castellanos, I'm going through now, the playoff wins and playoff series wins since he's been a Philly, and really in the post-Reese era, because Reese was that right-handed bat for that lineup in 2022 in the postseason, that, when Castellanos makes you pay on a mistake, that's the difference in so many of the ways that the Phillies win in the postseason. You go back to that Braves series that they win in 2023. You think about the big hit for him against the Mets. When he's going, this team, its ceiling is raised by so much. And, yeah, that pitch was middle, but he didn't miss it. And that grand slam ends up being a massive difference in the way we look at this weekend. They took advantage of pitcher making a mistake. And that's the beauty of this lineup, that when they're bashing, when they're going, they're great. We know what the other side looks of that. But they remind the league, yeah, we could compete with anyone. And this team that people were saying, they're going to win 120 games. They've spent $25 trillion. The Phillies could beat them. And they've now, since the start of last season, won 7 of 9 against that team.
There you go. Phillies can beat them. One other thing I'm going to pick on Ohtani about. Yesterday, it's the top of the 7th. Pages starts it with a single. Ohtani walks. Betts hits a double to right center. How does Ohtani not score on that? See, the guy had, 55 stolen bases last year? He runs like a whippet. He didn't score on that? He got to third base. Now, he wound up scoring on a sacrifice fly. But come on, dude. It's like he didn't want to show up this weekend. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, that's 10-16. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Yeah, I just looking at that game with glass now. I, as a former baseball player, I found myself getting pissed. And I want him to fail. I'm going, this guy, he's like a baby out there. He's got woe is me face all over the place.
It was embarrassing, man. Kicking the mound, and then
he's like, come on, like, dude. Like, somebody got to straighten that guy out. Hey, yo, suck it up here. Let's go. Suck it up. I know, we got to play in this, too. Let's go. Give us something. Oh, come on, man. What, are you kidding me?
That's right.
They had to take him out of the game in the bottom of the third because he's got woe is me face?
And it was like poetic justice that all 3 runners on base are his, and boom, grand slam.
Yeah, at the very least, you want to call for the diamond dry. You always have that option. Take a tongue depressor out there. What happened to the tongue depressor? You used to get the mud out of your cleats with it. Take it out there.
Yeah, I was reading something. I think it was Scott Lauber in the Inquirer just talking about how Glasnow's from Southern California. He played most of his games in the dome, but I'm assuming he's played in the rain before. I mean, right? I mean, you've had to play in the rain at some point in your life.
Listen, man, you're supposed to be one of the power right-handers in the game, right? Go out there and suck it up. You're playing. You got a gift of God playing for the Dodgers, where you don't have to be the man. You can just kind of blend in, still earn this big salary, fight for your team a little bit.
Yeah,
anyway, I don't care. People go, "What do you care about Glasnow?" You're right. I don't care about Glasnow.
Well, another starting pitcher. There's news for the Dodgers. I don't know if you saw Blake Snell put on the IL.
15-day. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
he's another guy that's always had injury problems. You know, the Dodgers are a good team, but the bottom of their order wasn't that potent. To be honest with you, they're very top-heavy, that lineup. Bottom of the order gave them nothing.
They're top-heavy, but their best player really didn't give them much either in Ohtani.
Yeah, he didn't want to play. I don't know what his story was. All right, 610-632-0975. Let's start with the text board today. What's the text board say about your fighting Phils and a big 2 of 3 against the Dodgers? Anything?
Text board is alive. If it would load, it would be great.
Okay, it is alive.
People trying to defend Bryson Stott when you're talking about Stott. And, jeez, this text board is killing me today. Too much negativity, Bill. I get we just took a 3 from supposedly the best team ever. Luzardo pitched a gem. The team played a lot of small ball. Oh, yeah, the Braves are 1-8. We have a chance to bury them. James in Levittown.
There you go.
Yeah,
Too
look,
much
I'm
negativity,
happy.
Bill. 2 of 3. I don't know, Bill. Your concerns are not unfounded, okay? Especially the bullpen concern. The Bohm concern, he's fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but the concern with Bohm is that we're 9 games into the season, and we're dealing with this already. Like, I would have thought, or I was hopeful, that after you were the subject of trade rumors, coming off of a season where you make an all-star game, it had to be a wake-up call. Like, if that's me, it's a wake-up call. Man, I got to really look in the mirror here. I got to change the way that I approach the game. I got to realize I'm going to have down days.
What did he do that was so egregious to you?
It was the body language again. On Saturday, it was the body language.
He got thrown
again.
out at first base?
He got thrown out at first. It's constant with him. You just see this, like, it's that sulking again. It's just the sulking. And I think he faced, what was it, five pitches and 4 at-bats, something like that? Something where he's not looking at pitches again. It's just the body language for me. I thought he would have learned this offseason that you just got benched because of this. And you come into the season and already again with it? Come on, man, grow up.
Yeah, I'm not as down on Bohm as you are.
We got another text up side with Bill if you'd like. Typical Philly take by Bill. Way to start off the week. Phils win. It's called baseball. Nothing is perfect. How did it work out in the end, Bill? Mute his mic.
The thrill of victory and the agony of listening to Bill about it.
Listen. I started my point saying that I didn't want to be negative because I do really like that they took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, and I like that they battled back to do it on Sunday. But this also is not about beating the Dodgers in April. This is about building a team that's going to go deep into October. And when you look at this team right now, after this weekend, even though they won, I get it. That's the point, to win baseball games. Even though they're 7-2, I think we saw some of the major issues that could potentially rear their ugly head down the road. Romano, something's off. And if he was supposed to be the big addition to the bullpen after you let Hoffman and Estevez walk, Romano don't have it, man. He don't have it. And I don't see him getting it back. He looks off. And then you look at some of the other issues with this team, and I have my concerns. Look, Edmundo Sosa, who's lights out right now, is helping you win baseball games. I think we all agree he's going to come back down to earth. He's not going to hit 550. So I do have some concerns. Now, look, you could also make the argument on the flip side of it. Like, Other guys will probably start to slug a little bit that haven't slugged yet. Like Harper really hasn't hit the ball great. He had that great double to center yesterday. But there's positives as well. I just am concerned about the bullpen, and I'm concerned about Brandon Marsh, Alec Bohm, and even Bryson Stott against left-handed pitching. He's got a 5-game hitting streak. I like that. But against left-handed pitching, he still hasn't shown he's capable. Am I being too negative?
Yeah, you are. Too soon to be alarming.
Not alarming, just being objective
your bullpen,
and aware.
Your bullpen concern is legit, and they've got 2 reliable guys right now. They really do. Just have 2 reliable guys. So, yes, that's a concern, and Romano is certainly a big concern because if he doesn't get his velocity back, he's really nothing. All right, we'll take a quick break here, and we'll get to our calls on the other side. A lot of people want to chime in. Here's how you get in: 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Let's take 2 of 3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2 of 3 from the reigning World Series champions. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam. The bullpen nearly threw the game away, but the Phillies rallied. A big Bryson Stott hit, and Edmundo Sosa's fielder's choice got them the lead back. Sosa 2 for 4 again, now hitting .550 on the season. Rob Thompson spoke postgame about getting him in the lineup more.
We got to really look at this because so far it's real. It's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
Keep you updated with the lineup as the Phillies head down to Atlanta for a 3-game set with the Braves that starts tomorrow night. Phil's now 7-2 on the season. Elsewhere, 76ers in Miami to play the Heat tonight at 7:30. Sixers have lost 11 in a row after the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball world, Houston and Florida will match up in the national championship game tonight. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
29, Mike Missanelli Show. Did the problems of the Phillies overshadow what they did this weekend? I go, no, yeah, look at the Dodgers, and then they're a super team, right? But their bullpen wasn't that great. Ohtani wasn't that great. The bottom half of their order isn't that great. They didn't look like they played with that much of a swagger against the Phillies. Well, maybe the Phillies made some points here with the baseball analysts. Who's the best team in baseball? Could it be the Phillies? Maybe not yet. But their starting rotation, boy, except for Nola, and I know everybody likes to pick on him. See, Nola, give up home runs. Blah, blah. You're just going to have to live with that, man. He's fine.
The crazy thing is Nola gives up 3 earned on Saturday. Sanchez gave up 4 earned yesterday. You didn't hear anywhere near the amount of complaining towards Sanchez that there was about Nola on Saturday.
Because Nola gives up too many home runs, and people don't like that. That leaves an impression on him.
It does. But
Sanchez doesn't.
If you're going into Saturday against the Dodgers, best team in baseball, World Series champs, and I told you Nola's going to give up 3 earned, you'd take that, wouldn't you? I know you didn't like the way it's done because of the home runs, but
in bad spots he gave up.
But that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. And really, I know Nola gets paid like he's an ace. You don't even need him to be your top 2.
He's always going to get picked on because he doesn't have he's not Wheeler. So he's always going to go, he's got to be technically perfect every time out. When he's not, he throws hittable balls that can get out of the park. But, the balance to that is he's going to be there for you every start. And there's going to be times when he throws gems. So you got to take the good with the bad with him.
Yeah, I'm not as
down on that. Bullpen is a concern.
Yeah.
Dave Dombrowski has a problem right now with the bullpen. I will say that. All right, let's get to the phones. We got Anthony from Baltimore hanging on. Anthony, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike, Bob, Bill, Ray. I'm not from Baltimore. I just happen to live here, unfortunately, for the last 15 years. But I've been listening to you for over 20 years, Mike. Love you guys. I'm a big fan of this show. It's very entertaining. I want to talk some Phillies and my confidence in this team this year and how they're going to learn from their mistakes against the Mets last year in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
But real quick, for my man Ray, I was listening to him yesterday. He had a dilemma where he falls asleep trying to watch the late games with the 8:50 starts and such.
He's got a very comfortable sofa, right?
Very comfortable sofa.
Yes.
I have the same problem, but I have 2 solutions that always work for me. Even if I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, you get yourself, one of those wooden rocking chairs, Ray, and as soon as you start feeling sleepy, move to that wooden rocking chair. You can put a little cushion on it, but you're not going to fall asleep without that neck support. You might start nodding off, but you'll make it to the end of the game. And the other thing that works for me is you start feeling sleepy, you switch it to a mobile device like an iPad, so you got to hold it up, and you get your blood flow and circulation going, and it keeps you awake. It works for me, Ray. Trust me.
I appreciate it. I'll put it in practice.
You realize you're talking to a 24-year-old kid. We're telling him to get a rocking chair.
I know.
Right? You got a problem, dude. At 24, you need a rocking chair to stay awake.
Yeah, he can just take some. He also can just take some uppers.
We don't condone that.
But I do have confidence in this Phillies team this year. I think they're going to learn. They have a lot of camaraderie. This core has been together long enough to where they're going to learn from last year against the Mets. They were whiffing and swinging at pitches they shouldn't have been swinging at. I think this year they're going to be more patient in the postseason. They're going to wait for their spots. And, they're going to learn from what Bryce Harper and Castellanos did. They were the only 2 that had any success against the Mets in the postseason last year.
Listen, I hope you're right that you've glossed over the bullpen problem.
Yeah, the bullpen, they're going to have to do something at the trade deadline, Mike.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a couple things to fortify this bullpen. Really, because this bullpen is not. When you're talking about a late inning guy whose velocity is down like 5 miles per hour, you got problems.
Yeah, you do.
A late inning guy. He's not you can get away with it in the middle innings as a middle inning guy, but they don't. Those late inning guys. They got 2 guys. They're both left-handers. You can count on 2. That's it.
Who you counting on?
You count on Strom. You count on Alvarado.
So you're not on the Kirkring.
I am not counting on Kirkring yet. He's been bobbling so far. He gave up a big hit when he came in.
He did, but he was put in a tough spot. But I get it's his job to get out of it.
Yeah, what do you mean, tough spot?
Well, Romano, did Romano walk the bases loaded when Kirkring came in there? But Romano had Kirkring inherited a lot of runners from Romano in that inning. But look, let me give a positive. Maybe I'm being too negative. Here's another positive though. As we look at the bullpen, yeah, you have the trade deadline. I know we're ways away from that. You also come October, if the Phillies get there, if everyone's healthy, you got an abundance of starting pitchers who may work their way into the bullpen.
Maybe.
One of them may be Andrew Painter, who's going to pitch this week.
Yeah,
we got that news.
They like him as a starter. So which starter would go to the bullpen?
Not in the postseason.
Ranger
though.
Suarez?
I'm looking at it in October. In October, you could have Suarez and you could have Andrew Painter in that pen. If you're rolling with Wheeler, Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, then you'd be able to move Ranger and Painter into the pen, potentially for the postseason run. So, I mean, that's a positive, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Kirkring came in with, all right, Paje singled, Ohtani walked. Betts doubled. They didn't score on that play, right? So Kirkring comes in, he gets a fly out, and then he gives up a sacrifice fly, and then he gives up a double. Put the Dodgers in the lead.
He gave up the double to
Smith.
Smith.
So, like I said, you can count on two guys right now.
Yeah.
Kirkring has not been lights out, unfortunately.
No, but I have a lot less concerns about Kirkring than I do about Romano.
Okay. I mean, that's legit. You still need more than that. You need a right-handed hammer-type guy. Kirkring's not the hammer. He's going to get you outs maybe in the 7th, maybe in the 8th. Not the hammer that you need late.
Yeah, not right now. It's a concern. Look, it's a concern because when you looked at Dombrowski's 3 major acquisitions this offseason, Luzardo looks like he may have hit a home run. Let's hope the kid stays healthy. He could be your second-best pitcher if things continue this way. But then the other two, Romano and Kepler, still major question marks.
And you're down on Bohm right now. You don't like Bohm. You don't like his demeanor at all.
Very down on Bohm, man. I'm very down on Bohm because the whole point coming into this season was you were just floated in trade rumors, man. And a lot of it was because of the way you sulk and your attitude. That's why you were benched in the NLDS, because of your attitude, not because of your play necessarily, your attitude. And you come back and already with it? 8 games into the season? You're sulking already, and then the manager sits you down?
That's why you think he was benched.
I think he was 100% benched on Sunday. There could have been a different way to put Edmundo Sosa in. You're not sitting an all-star third baseman against the Dodgers.
Where are you going to put Edmundo Sosa if he's not playing third in that game? You got stopped as your left-handed hitter against Glasnow. Where are you putting him? I think it's a legitimate situation to get Sosa to keep his hot bat in there.
And to sit Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
Your all-star third baseman.
Because he was 0 for 8, I think. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you.
From the Dodgers, and yet we were looking at some negatives. You know, when you take 2 or 3 from the supposed best team in the league, the negatives have to be way down on the list, Bill. This is my feeling, and they were way up on the list for you. Way up. You had some vitriol.
Yeah, not vitriol. I mean, look, I was happy too, and it was an exciting 3 days of baseball. It was fun this weekend to be able to sit on the couch and watch it while I read your book. But
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
it's on the coffee table. I started to take a look at
It
it.
must look really nice on the coffee table, unopened.
Very well written.
Uh-huh.
Very descriptive.
Yeah.
But anyway, exciting to watch them. But I just don't want to lose sight of the fact that there were some weaknesses that were shown. And I really don't believe that they win. I don't think they win on Friday if Ohtani doesn't make the boneheaded decision to try to steal second. Because Romano, I don't think, is getting out of that inning. And now you would have had runners on first and third. He did strike that guy out, so you would have had 2 outs, runners on first and
But
third.
they were good enough to win. See, this is the thing you ignore. Well, if Ohtani went to win, the Phillies had to win the game. They had to win it.
They did. And look, they showed that they're not intimidated by the Dodgers, which is huge. I get it. I'm just looking at, I want this team to be the perfect team. And I know that is an unreachable goal. But when you look at this baseball team, and the goal is not to just beat the Dodgers in April, it's to win the NL East, get to October, and hopefully win a World Series, I have concerns about the bullpen. And what I told you was, before the season started, the reason I was so high on this team was because of the offseason additions. And one of those offseason additions was Jordan Romano. There's no one out there that could feel good about this guy. Even he doesn't know what's going on. And even he said it after the game. He's got to figure it out because his velocity's down and he feels healthy. He doesn't understand what's going on. Well, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And then you still look at the outfield. You're not getting anything from Brandon Marsh. Great catch. But Brandon Marsh isn't there to be Johan Rojas. Johan Rojas makes great catches too. Our problems with Rojas is what he does at the plate. Brandon Marsh is on pace for 145 strikeouts again. He has not shown me that he's grown at all at the plate. So now you still have the same issues in the outfield, and I don't know what we have in Max Kepler. He's been okay. Kepler's been okay, but he hasn't been this massive upgrade.
So you're sending out a warning. Don't be go over the moon because they won 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. And I look at it like, I hear your warts. I agree with the warts. They won 2 or 3. So the other team must have some warts also.
They do. Look, they do. The Dodgers certainly do. But I still think they're a better team. Doesn't mean you can't beat them, but they're a better team.
I don't know if they're a better team. I got to be honest with you. I don't know. Their bullpen looked terrible all series. And I'm going, they're supposed to have a stacked bullpen where they bring guys in and they get guys out automatically. Their bullpen stunk, frankly. So I look at it and go, okay, well, the bottom half of their lineup, it's not that potent. They're struggling along with guys like Muncy.
Yeah, their bats didn't look great. I mean, look, no Freeman either, so that hurts them a little bit. But it's just, look, Mookie Betts is amazing. And Ohtani.
Enrique Hernandez gets 16 at-bats a week, for crying out loud.
And Teoscar Hernandez was on fire.
Well, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Kincade Hernandez is a stiff.
I just don't want to lose sight of, and maybe I'm being too negative, and I don't want to be. I really don't. I'm excited that they won the series. I just don't want to lose sight of some of the issues with the baseball team. And another one that I didn't mention just now, we talked earlier, is Alec Bohm. I don't love the fact that there's still issues with Alec Bohm's attitude. Like, come on. So, yes, be happy that they won the series.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to look at the Phillies lineup, and then I want you to look at the Dodgers lineup. I want you to tell me who you take over whom.
All right, I got it in front of me now.
Go ahead.
All right.
Use Sunday's lineup.
All right, DH and leadoff. Shohei Ohtani or Kyle Schwarber?
All right, you're going to take Ohtani.
You're going to take Ohtani.
Okay.
All right, shortstop.
But Schwarber, no slouch.
No
okay.
slouch, but you would take Ohtani. Mookie Betts or Trey Turner? You're taking Mookie Betts.
Okay.
Then their second baseman is
Tommy Edman.
Yeah, you take him over Bryson Stott.
You
probably.
would? All of a sudden now, journeyman Tommy Edman is a star?
Bryson Stott still has to show he can hit left-handed pitch.
Okay.
All right, even if you take Stott.
All right, keep going.
All right. Then you got Teoscar Hernandez in right field. Are you taking him over Castellanos?
Marginally.
All right. Will Smith over JT Realmuto.
Not taking Will Smith.
Conforto in left or Max Kepler?
You're not taking Conforto.
You taking Kepler, though?
Oh, That's at best a wash. Kepler's got more potential than Conforto, who's been tossed around the league.
All right, Muncy or Alec Bohm?
Oh, stop it.
You're taking Bohm?
Of course you're taking Bohm.
I agree with you. I just need Bohm to stop.
Okay, let's look at Bohm. Where did you see, what bugged you so much about Bohm this weekend? What game was it?
It was Saturday.
Saturday's game. I got it right in front of me. Okay, when did you see the mope? Because in the first inning, he grounded out to second base, hit it hard. Schwarber scored. He got him a run in the first inning. Did he mope then?
I don't think he moped then.
Okay, let's move on. He batted in the fourth. Harper walked. He flew out to right. Did he mope them? He hit it hard, I believe.
Probably. I can't remember exactly when he did it.
But he was disappointed that he flew out to right.
I just remember watching it and thinking, oh, here he goes again. Here he goes again.
You're not allowed to be disappointed. Harper gets on his mindset is, well, I got to hit behind the runner. I try to get the ball to right field, right center, so I get Harper to third. So he hit a line drive. It was caught. He's not supposed to be disappointed there.
There's a difference about being disappointed.
And moping. And he flew out to right in the sixth inning. Did he mope then? Was the third out? Maybe he moped then.
He probably did. And then he definitely moped after he grounds out into a double play on the first pitch in the bottom of the ninth. I'm telling you, there was that moping again. And I wish I had the exact examples of it, but anyone who was watching the game knows what I'm talking about.
All right. He was 0 for 8. That gave Topper reason to put Sosa in the lineup because people kill him when he doesn't have Sosa in the lineup. Oh, you're going to play him every day. You're going to play him every day. Now they're going to play him in left field. He's going to wind up playing every day, and you're going to ring him out. Guaranteed this is what's going to happen now with Sosa. Now you're going to play him in left field?
Yeah, they'll probably put him in left.
You're going to ring him out. He's going to play every day. He's going to play against left-handers for Stott. He's going to occasionally play third base for Bohm, and now he's going to play left field.
Although, I know what you're saying. I think you have to do that until he cools down. The guy is on.
You're going to make him cool down by overplaying him. That's my point.
I think you keep riding the hot hand.
The same mistake that's riding a hot hand for a backup player never works. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies take 2 of 3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2 of 3 from the reigning World Series champs. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, the Phillies rallied. Big Bryson Stott hit, and Edmundo Sosa's fielder's choice put them up for good. Sosa 2 for 4 again, now hitting .550 on the young season. Thompson spoke postgame about getting him in the lineup more.
You know, we got to really look at this because so far it's real. You know, it's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
We'll keep you updated with the lineup this week as the Phillies in Atlanta open a 3-game set tomorrow night with the Braves. The Phillies at 7-2 on the year. Elsewhere, the 76ers in Miami tonight play the Heat at 7:30. Catch the game right here on the Fanatic. 76ers have lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also, the basketball world, Houston and Florida tonight in the national championship game. Tip off for that one at 8:50. This update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $84 in select sets of 4 Nokia tires at AAA Car Care Centers. Offer ends April 15th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Ray Dutton, the home, the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Championship game tonight, and we had the women's yesterday. UConn and my boy Gino Auriemma with another national championship. Bill, I know you were glued to the female national championship game with South Carolina and Gino Auriemma and UConn. Two Philly coaches, by the way. You were in, right?
I actually was checking in.
What?
I was checking in.
That's a lie.
I'm telling you the truth.
Truthful?
Yeah, I was watching the Phillies game, and I'm checking back and forth between the two.
Ray, get the truth meter out. Get the truth meter. What's it registering?
Were the kids at the house?
Only the infant.
Only the baby?
Yeah.
That makes me think there might be a little bit of truth to this.
Because I was
Really?
going back and forth between the Phils. I mean, I wasn't glued to it, and UConn kind of dominated the game. And I remember early, Dawn Staley, they flashed to her, and she's cursing on the side. I think she saw that her team just couldn't keep up with UConn.
Yeah.
But what an accomplishment, man, by Gino.
I wonder if he's going to retire now. 73?
71?
I think he's older than that, actually. But in any event, tonight, national championship game. Now, Bill, first of all, the circumstances that are very important for you as far as the pool here, right?
Yeah, listen, I said it walking in this morning to the station that I may just stop competing in fanatic things because I don't want to just dominate. Like, I dominated knockout start to finish, and now I'm about to win the March Madness pool, too, here at the station. It's almost like unfair.
So how do you win the March Madness pool here?
If Houston wins.
If Houston wins, you win the whole thing.
Yeah, if Houston wins, I win the whole thing. If Florida wins, Andrew DeCecco wins the whole thing.
Ah.
So it's just
I get this for you. I might not watch it.
you're bored by the matchup.
I am bored. This is where we get, like, the marquee team is not in it. Now, you say which one. You hate Duke, whatever. The marquee name and team and player will not be in the national championship game. I don't like it. I think it's a boring national title game.
So I not only because I would win. I'm kidding about dominating, even though I have. But not only because I would win if Houston wins. I'd like to see Houston win. I mean, that's a pretty
what do
cool
we care
story.
about Houston? What do you care about Houston and Kelvin Sampson, who's gotten into trouble in
Why
his
would you give
career?
him the name?
I
That's
already
what-
knew it,
Oh,
Ray.
yeah, you
Come
looked
on.
it up in the last hour since you were asked off the air about it. Give me
Stop.
one player.
Stop, Ray. Stop.
Give me one
What I
player.
Ray
like,
doesn't know one player.
Ray,
But
I
that's
admitted
the point.
it.
Most of the people don't know one player in this matchup. Florida's got that kid is a killer who plays for Florida.
I admitted.
But it's a bland matchup.
Yeah, but it's basically like a pick'em. I think Houston.
It's pick 'em because it's a bland matchup.
Yeah,
Now,
Houston's a
wouldn't you
1.5 point
Wouldn't
dog.
you rather have Duke and Cooper Flag in this game for intrigue?
I agree. Yeah, I mean it would have been more
Really?
intriguing.
And Duke should be ashamed of themselves for blowing that lead.
That was
you
fair.
deprived a lot of people of more enjoyment tonight in the national championship game by blowing a damn lead.
Yeah, no, that was bad. But when Ray, you talk about Kelvin Sampson, and Ray called me out on this too, because a lot of people saw the social media video that was going around. It was only a few years ago that Kelvin Sampson's walking around Houston's campus trying to get people to even show up to games. So it's a pretty cool story how that's turned around.
He's also been sanctioned, but he's been in trouble a lot in his career.
Yeah, well, Eric Gordon was one of them, right? That was an issue that.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah, it was his first time he was sanctioned. It was a controversial recruitment of Eric Gordon at Indiana.
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, he also got in trouble before he went to Indiana. He got into trouble at Oklahoma. He got pushed out of Oklahoma, I believe.
I look at all these coaches, though, and the ones who got in trouble are just the ones who got caught. Like, all these guys were doing stupid stuff to try to get players back in the day. And now, I mean, it's the Wild West with
Yeah,
the
but the way
NILs.
we're celebrating this guy, Kelvin Sampson, Hall of Fame coach. Yeah, come on, man.
You know why I picked Houston, right?
Why?
I said it on the Fanatic Instagram video we did when we all picked our champ. Quentin Grimes, baby. I'm going with my man Q. Quentin Grimes. Best player on the Sixers right now.
You didn't even know he played for Houston.
I knew he played for
You
Houston.
had no idea that he played for Houston.
I knew because he talks about it.
Does he? That's the only reason.
Well, and I had a
you had no Grimes consideration at all when he was playing for Houston.
I had
you didn't
a-
even know who Grimes was.
I had to interview him at the Sixers charity event a couple months ago.
Oh yeah,
So that's how I knew
when
his
he was-
background.
when he was playing for Houston.
No, at that time, no. At that time, I didn't care.
All right. 610-632-0975. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. In 11 o'clock hour, we're going to do something fun. But first, I got to tell you, you're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's start the 11 o'clock hour with a call. Dr. Mad Elf is on the line. Greg from Bethlehem. Greg, what's happening? How you doing, buddy?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I was happy about the weekend with the Phillies. You know, I think I disagree with you this one time, Mike, regarding Sosa. You know, I don't have the ability to look at somebody and say, well, they're going to wear him out if they play him more. I think if the guy's playing well, can't he be ascending in his career? And
what are you talking about? Sosa?
Sosa.
Yeah, no, he's a part-time player.
Well, how do you...
He's a part-time player. He's had plenty of opportunity. There's something missing from him. He doesn't have a true position to be a full-time player. He's an okay shortstop. The Cardinals thought that he could be a everyday shortstop. They realized he couldn't, and so he was done there. He's just one of those guys that falls between the cracks. That doesn't mean he can't help a team, but when you milk a guy, a part-time player, it usually ends up in disappointment. So where would you play him full-time, Greg?
Well, maybe he's a full-time utility player.
Well, yeah, but that's not, of course, a full-time utility. That's what he is. He's a utility player.
Well, I understand, but you could play him more. You know, I just think give him an opportunity to turn over a new page, and maybe now.
But an opportunity to turn over a new page is a regular player at a regular position. Utility player, yeah, he can help you. Wilson Valdez was a utility player who could help you. But when you go to him too much, and now they're going to play him in left field, and now they're going to give him at-bats in third base, and then they're going to play him in second base, he's going to wind up playing every day. And you're going to ruin his effectiveness.
Well, I don't know. I have a hard time looking at him and saying, well, you know, you better not play every day because you're going to wear out.
Okay.
I mean, maybe
that's fair. You're going to see. You're going to see. And meanwhile, you're going to play him in left field. You're fitting guys that can't play. They can't defend. So you're weakening your defense every time you play him at every position. Am I not right? Are you weakening your defense every time he's there? Not by a lot, but still, you're not 100% maximum efficiency defensively when he has to play, especially if he's going to play left field. Oh, he's gone.
Greg, drop off?
Yeah, people have the same. Yeah, I get it. I understand. He's hitting. Oh, you got to play him. But you got to look at the other side of it. He is a part-time player who I believe when you play too much, you don't maximize his efficiency, and also you hurt your defense.
I agree with you that I do believe Sosa will come back down to earth. There's a reason why he's 29 years old and has never really been able to consistently be at this level. I mean, nobody would hit 550, but you know what I'm saying. But why not milk him now? Like, what's the negative? So the negative
is you're going to play him in left field now, and he's going to hurt you out there. That's the negative. He's going to hurt you. Yeah, because you have to squeeze this offense out of him. You're going to throw him here, throw him there, throw him there. It's impossible for a guy to be efficient 100% at every position you throw him in, and especially a guy who has never played the outfield, and you're going to stick him in left field.
All right, so if you throw him in left field and he hurts you in the field, then maybe he's all right, we're done with that experiment. I just don't see the negative in the putting him out there while he's got a hot bat.
You put him out there and he hurts you to lose a game. That's the negative.
But he also may win you a game.
Not going to hurt you in the infield. He's passable at every position in the infield. You start now. You start going a little too far, and you stick him in left field. Then you're going to see.
So what would you rather do? Would you rather sit down? There's going to be a lefty on the mound.
I would play him occasionally.
Would you platoon him with?
I wouldn't play him all the time. Like these people are screaming, he's got to play every day. I would pick my spots with him. He's proven that he can come into a lineup and be efficient, even if he sits a couple days.
So against a left-handed pitcher, you playing him at second for Stott, or you playing him
I'm
at
not
left?
playing him at all.
Wait, I thought you wanted to platoon him.
No, I'm not platooning him at all. I don't want to platoon him.
I thought you said you wanted to platoon him.
Where did you hear me say I wanted to platoon him?
Last week we got in an argument because I said I didn't want him to platoon with Stott because I didn't want to stifle Stott against left-handed pitching, and you said
I would not
platoon him against
lefties. It would not
lefties.
be a straight platoon.
So
It
you
would
would
not
just
be a
pick-
straight platoon.
just
I
pick
would
your
pick
spot.
my spots. Occasionally, I would play him at second base. Occasionally, I would give Bohm a rest. I'm not playing him in left field. I'm not doing it.
I mean, he did work on it in spring training.
What did he work on? He played center field. He didn't play left field.
They had him working
They
in the
worked
outfield.
him in the outfield, in center field.
I just think while his bat's hot, just milk it, man. And what's the worst that'll happen? So he comes back down to earth, or he makes a mistake in the outfield, and then you
when
end
he
the
comes back
experiment.
down to earth, that means he's played too much, and then maybe you lose the guy. Maybe you lose the edge that he brings by being a part-time player, by continuing to play him. That's the risk.
I mean,
A part-time player should stay as a part-time player. That maximizes his ability, in my opinion.
but you would agree he's been your best hitter to start the season.
It's early.
I get it, so why not just milk it?
If you go 10 for 17, your average is going to be gaudy and eye-popping.
So just milk it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, go ahead. Milk it. Knock yourself out.
Milk it while you can.
Milk it.
If he's going to come back down to earth, right now he's got a hot bat. His confidence is through the roof. I think you just keep it going. Okay. And then if he has an 0 for 4 game, you say, all right, Edmundo. All right?
All right.
What do you think, Ray? Would you milk it, or would you say, no, keep him as a part-time guy?
Oh, I'm going to milk it at this point. I'm going to see what it is. I mean, the worst that happens is you realize what he is what he's always been, and that's a part-time player. And the whole, consistent utility guy, you made the mention of Hernandez on the Dodgers. They pretty much throw him wherever they need him in the field.
And he stinks.
He's a bat in that lineup, though.
He stinks. He plays too much, Hernandez.
Okay, you knocked a home run over the weekend. If Sosa gives you pop that you don't get from guys that stink.
Playing all the time. I just don't like it. I think that you don't preserve their best when you do that. I think you wear down their best. That's just me. Me and my study of baseball all these years.
All right, well, then I want your brain.
The Wilson Valdez. The Phillies have had a ton of utility players that have been efficient for them over the years because they don't play that much. And that's how you preserve their abilities.
Well, then on the other side, I want to pick your baseball brain on what the hell you do with Brandon Marsh, because I don't think he's an everyday player.
Put Sosa out there. Platoon him. You got Sosa. Play him in center.
Now you're being quiet.
No. Play your boy Rojas. You love him. Play your boy Rojas.
I think he'd give you more than what Marsh is giving you.
Go back to the straight platoon with Rojas. You okay with that?
I think we're going to have to be okay with it for now.
Okay, there you go. 6-1. You solved it, Bill. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
There's a really interesting story about how cheap baseball players are. I don't know. I haven't been able to gauge this from any other sports, but I can tell you that is 100% accurate. See, baseball players, in my opinion, kind of the lowest common denominator of professional athletes.
What do you mean by that?
They're just less sophisticated. They're kind of slobby and let's face it. You're from February to October. You're living together in a crowded clubhouse with dirt and grit and funk and athletes' feet and pine tar and spit and dip, or spitting sunflower seeds all over the place. It's just baseball players are just like a different species. You know, they really are. And so there's a story about how cheap they are, and it started. Ray did a nice job with this because it's like we all have our little chiefdoms, but I want to read some of these chiefdoms from professional baseball players because they think. Here's the thing. Now your parents spend money for traveling teams and such, but most of the time, like you're playing ball and you're driving yourself to games and stuff, and you're trying to cut corners on gas and stuff like that when you're young. Now, when you get to be a major leaguer, obviously it's different. But when you're in the minor leagues, you're living with like 5 dudes and you're making no money at all. And, you're trying to save as much money as you can. So let's just go over a couple things here because they surveyed a bunch of major league players on what they're most cheap about, and most of them still are on their parents' phone bill.
Yeah, that was surprising.
You read this, right?
Yeah.
So like Zach Greinke, who apparently is one of the cheapest who ever lived, the pitcher Zach Greinke, refuses to pay for guacamole at Chipotle. Now, these are guys that make millions of dollars, right? But they carry these little funky things with them, like Chipotle is going to charge you an extra $1.50 for guacamole. Oh, no, I ain't doing that.
Worth every penny. I had Chipotle yesterday, by the way. Loaded up on the guac.
Well, you're not a baseball player.
Load up on the guac.
Baseball players are like this. So, Whit Merrifield says, when music is playing in a clubhouse, someone has their phone hooked up, and an ad comes on. This is Spotify. So when you pay for Spotify premium, no ads. When you don't, the ads come on. So the ads come on in the clubhouse, and people go, how cheap were you? You can't pay an extra $11.99 for Spotify.
Didn't LeBron James say he still doesn't pay for that too?
LeBron was also someone that said he did not pay for
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think Dwayne Wade actually revealed that about LeBron, that when LeBron was on aux, you got ads.
Because that is something I'm cheap with, too. Like, I'll use Pandora, but I use it with the ads. I don't know. I don't pay for the no ads.
Yeah, apps, too. They don't pay for apps. Tyler Glasnow, well, he already showed his true colors. There's something about buying an app. I just don't want to give them the $2. These are guys that make millions now.
Now,
But these little things have carried over in their lives.
And Glasnow,
I'm on my parents' Netflix. All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, with Glasnow, the weather app's free, so he should have been able to see that there was a chance of rain and been a little bit more prepared for it yesterday.
Yeah, Matt Strom. I'm not going to buy new clothes because I want to. I need clothes to buy clothes. These guys are all funky.
And baseball players, it's guaranteed contracts, isn't it?
These have got millions of dollars. They could go to Nordstrom and spend $10,000 on clothes if they want and have a wardrobe for the summer.
Most I ever related to a professional athlete was reading this story.
This is classic. My wife says, you need to get some new shirts. And I'm like, I'm good. I never need new clothes. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy shoes. I get weirdly indecisive about things. I'll be like, I want this. Then I'll turn around 10 minutes later. Wow, what's going to change if I buy this? Nothing. So I'm like, I guess I don't need this. Baseball players, they are the most frugal people in America.
And I'm surprised how many of them won't buy first-class plane tickets.
Yeah.
They look at cheap flights, they said. I'll look at first-class seats, but I won't buy them.
And they won't spend extra for the premium seat.
Or did you see Jesse Winker from the Mets? Uber prices have gotten out of control. If I can't walk, I'll rent a scooter for a fraction of the price.
All right. Now, what are some of the things that you boys are cheap about? Because I can tell you, I carry these little frugal things. I was raised in an extremely frugal family. And some of the things I don't even know that I'm carrying over. But I do carry it over.
So it's crazy because my family was also very frugal. right? My parents, my grandparents, and I think I maybe almost rebelled. Like, I don't look at prices. Like, I remember my grandfather, before he passed, would always be like, oh, you got to go to the White Horse Pike. They got the cheapest gas. Like, I don't even look at the gas prices when I pull in. But there's people who will go out of their way to go to the gas station as the cheaper price. I think the only thing I'm cheap about is probably that I don't pay for my music. Like the Pandora, I'll do it with ads. I'm not going to pay extra. But outside of that, I don't think I'm a very cheap person for whatever reason. I think I rebelled against my family with that because they were always like, if you showed up at my mom's house, right, and you were wearing a shirt, the first thing that my family would say is like, "You like this shirt? $2.99 at Target." Like, it was always about how little you paid for it. Like, and if you paid too much, you got ripped.
I'm the opposite of that too when it comes to clothes. But I will have little quirks. Like, I hate paying for garage parking. Hate it. I don't know what it is. I just can't get used to it because I'm going, that's $30. That's now another $5 tip. That's $35. I'll go around the block and I'll find something on the street. Normally I do. And I'll use the app to pay for the parking, which is like the most I'll ever pay is $6.50 as opposed to $35.
So for me, it's less about paying the money at the garage. I don't like the garages that don't let you park the car yourself. I don't want to wait.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that as much as the fee.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because the fee, because you're right. When they bring the car, then you got to duke them.
Yeah, then you got to.
That's a 5 spot.
The tip, and you got to wait.
Because it's now $35 to park, so you can't give them $1 anymore.
No, you got to give them more than that.
Make it commensurate.
Yeah, you got to give them more than that.
And here's something I refuse to do also. I've never gotten delivery.
Oh, I'm not a big, like, what is it, DoorDash and stuff like that? I'm not big on that either. I like to go pick it up myself.
I pick it up myself all the time. But now, Ray, living in the city, you get delivery, right?
No, I'll walk usually to where I'm going to.
Yeah?
If it's like a late night type thing where like sometimes after like a broadcast or something when it's like 11 and I'm like, I want Wawa and there's no Wawa near me, then I'll get DoorDash.
Is that money though related? Is it for you? Is it money? Because for me, it has nothing to do with the money of why I pick up.
No, it has a lot to do with the money, but it's like I don't like to get my food cold.
That's me.
Yeah.
I don't care about the cost.
Pizza delivery, I go, I time it perfectly. I'll call the local pizza joint. Okay, we'll be ready in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I'm right there. Boom. I got it coming out of the oven. I get it home quick.
I'm exactly with you. My wife always says, you don't like delivery. That's why I don't like it.
Here it is.
I want it hot.
Women couldn't care less about the delivery. This is what I'm finding out. Like my girlfriend will go, what's the grocery delivery service? What is that?
Instacart?
Instacart. It's Instacart all the time. Like, what are you doing? I go, you think that they're like you're getting bell peppers. You think they're pouring over the bell peppers looking for the greenest, nicest pepper? They're throwing it in there.
No, you got to do it yourself.
Tomatoes? You think they're testing out a tomato? But I can't. Part of it was I didn't want to have people know where I lived.
I can see that.
Because I'm controversial. I don't want some hater knowing where I live, publishing my address. You know what I'm saying?
You think you have haters?
Oh, man. I've had haters for 35 years, brother.
That means you're doing something right.
You don't know what it's like to deal with my hate. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies take 2-3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2-3 from the reigning World Series champions. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, the Phillies rallied. Big Bryson Stott hit, and Mundo Sosa with the fielder's choice. The Phillies didn't look back from there. Sosa 2 for 4 again, now hitting .550 in the early campaign. Rob Thompson spoke post-game about getting him in the lineup more.
You know, we got to really look at this because so far it's real. You know, it's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
We'll keep you updated with whatever that lineup looks like, as tomorrow the Phillies open up a 3-game set with the Braves down in Atlanta. Phillies 7-2 in the early going of the season. Elsewhere, 76ers in Miami tonight to play the Heat at 7:30. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. 76ers lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball world, Houston and Florida will match up in the national championship game at tonight. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
28, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. That's either call or text. I'm going to tell you another thing that I refuse to do as far as the cheapness goes. You know, we're talking about baseball players. Here's the word for baseball players, the best word. Baseball players are more primitive than any other professional athlete. And that includes hockey players, too. That includes hockey players. Hockey players are close.
But hockey players, I think, are the opposite. Like, it's all about, like, the lifestyle. Like, they spend a ton of money on the way they dress, on how they go out and eat. I think hockey players are the opposite. I think it's a lifestyle for them.
But getting there, they live with host families and stuff.
True.
And they got to watch their money, and so they get primitive as well. But here's what I refuse to do. And this is the smallest matter possible. And I've talked about this before. I refuse to pay 10 cents extra for a bag at a grocery store.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about that.
I just can't do it. Here's my rationale. I go, I am spending so much freaking money on groceries. You mean to tell me you're going to hang me with a 10-cent fee on a bag? The least you can do is give me the bag. Give me the bag.
See, now that's a Pennsylvania problem because I'm over in Jersey. You can't even pay 10 cents for the bag. You got to bring your own, or it's going to cost you over $1 to buy a reusable bag.
Guess what? I lie.
Yeah, I don't think you could lie, though.
See, I've got
in Jersey.
I've got the bags but sometimes I forget to bring them in. Now, I'm at the I go, I need a bag, damn. I'm not going to run back into my car and get it. I'll lie, and I will say 0 bags. How many bags have you used? 0.
See, I don't think you should be admitting this on air.
I'm admitting it on air. Is that shoplifting?
Ooh, for the bag?
Is
technically.
that technically shoplifting? I refuse. I'm going, my God, my bill, it's $101. I just spent $101 in this place. You're going to hang me with an extra 10 cents? It just doesn't compute to me.
I think technically it is. Like, we got mad at Ray for admitting that they used someone else's login for their...
I've got a list here, actually.
Go ahead, Ray.
The logins while we were doing this.
Go ahead, give me the list.
YouTube TV, parents, Netflix, roommates, Hulu, roommate's girlfriend, MLB TV, brother's girlfriend, Apple TV, other roommates, Prime, friends.
Ray, you're a criminal.
NBA League Pass, friends, ESPN Plus, my brothers.
You're a criminal.
Yeah, Ray, I wouldn't admit this.
Ray.
You may need to dump that whole segment.
It's all right. Come take
I
me
didn't
away.
do that. I pay for a lot of stuff TV-wise, but here's the other thing. Here's what baseball players are famous for: stealing snacks and water from the clubhouse.
Oh, they bring it home?
Oh, they pile up. They take bags of snacks out of there. There's piling snacks. I hate paying for snacks. They put the snack because it's a smorgasbord in there. They got all kinds of snacks. They got the gum. They got the sunflower seeds. Boom, 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 boom. They take it out in a bag. And water bottles. I hate paying for water. They take the water bottles out. I'm reading the guy here. This guy says, some guys walk out of here with tons of free water bottles, and they have no problem spending $25,000 on a Rolex. It's the truth.
Can I admit to something as well?
Go ahead. You stealing water from here?
No, not from
What?
here. They don't give us water here. We have to walk 10 miles to get coffee.
Well, no, we got the water machine.
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
I will fill this up before I leave.
Yeah, okay. I can't get very far with a lot of those things. On our women's basketball trips, you better believe I'm sneaking into the team room and I'm grabbing a couple bags of snacks, a couple water bottles. I'll be stacked up for the next few days till the next road trip.
See, Bill, Ray, you make a good baseball player. Now, here's another thing. This guy, the beat writer for The Athletic, asked Logan O'Hoppe, who is the former Phillies catcher who got traded in that deal for Marshy. Don't hate me, but even though it's $1, I refuse to pay for The Athletic. He says it's the principle. I'll read the first paragraph before the paywall. You can't go further than pay $1 for The Athletic. Now, I pay for The Athletic.
See, now this one will really probably irritate you, Mike. Manny Machado.
Wine?
Won't spend money on wine.
No, he didn't say that. He said he won't spend money at a restaurant that charges you 800%.
But then he says, I like wine, but the value's got to be there. I'm a value
So
guy.
what he does is he brings his own wine and pays the corkage fee. He refuses to buy the wine that the restaurant gives you at an 800% markup.
You know, he signed a contract for $350 million.
I know, I understand that. But see, I'm kind of the same way. like you got to find a good value of wine because they're marking it up considerably.
Now-
so like a cheap wine, like a $15 wine, they're going to mark up for like $48.
Yeah, don't mark it up. Now, has Manny Machado ever been to Briganti by the Bay? Because they don't do that down there.
No, we don't. We don't mark up our wines. We have a pure pricing system.
Good value.
It's tremendous value for our wines. At
See?
Briganti by the
So
Bay.
maybe Machado, when he's in town, will have to drive down to Briganti's.
He should. All right, let's go back to the phones. We got Greg in Orland checking in. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
What's happening, guys?
How
How's it going?
are you, Greg?
Good. So before I ask my question, you're right. Even my wife said to me yesterday as we were listening to the game, she said that guy's making $32 million a year, and he had 22 starts last year, so he's making over $1 million a start, and he's cheap. He still is cheap at over $1 million a start. Crazy.
Who are you talking about? Glass
Absolutely crazy.
But which start are you talking about? Glass now?
Glass now, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He made 22 starts last year. That was his,
Yeah,
that
no,
was
he's always
career
injured.
high.
Yeah, he was injured last year.
And they gave him $32 million. Which is
Yeah, that's the risk of pitchers.
My question was, who do you think? What do you think the Eagles are going to do as far as taking draft? The other thing I wanted to make comment on is that it was great to see the Phillies beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. I mean, they didn't really play any competition last year in the first half of the
They
season.
sounded the alarm.
They're
We're
gonna
here. We're here to play this year. We're as good as the Dodgers. And when you go down their lineup, except for that bullpen, that problem, they may be as good as the Dodgers.
Yeah. Where did we get Romano from? What is up with that dude?
I got him from Toronto Blue Jays. Used to be really a premier relief pitcher, late inning relief pitcher who had an injury last year and is trying to come back from it.
The key word there is used to be.
Yeah, well, he's got to develop more arm strength. I don't think he's ready right now.
So what do you think the Eagles are going to do? Where do you think they're going to go for the draft?
I think whenever you go into the draft, I think Howie Roseman usually is going to take best player available. So when you're at 32, it's kind of hard to predict who's going to fall to you there. But when you look at the team's needs, I wouldn't be shocked if they went defensive line. We know how much Howie Roseman loves to build along both offensive and defensive lines, and this is a fairly deep draft class when it comes to edge rushers and interior defensive linemen, so maybe they go there. But then when you look at the safety position, talking about position and need, safety is probably the least deep position in this draft, so do they reach at 32 and try to get a guy early because you're not getting anybody good probably in the bottom of the second round. So it'll be interesting to see. Do they just draft best player available, or do they stretch a little bit because they do have some positions in need?
What about tight end?
Tight end's another one of those positions. Do you take best player available, or do you take a guy at 32 that's a tight end? There's a lot of good ones. I mean, Tyler Warren probably won't be there that deep. But if you listen to Andrew DeCecco, who's doing a draft special again this Thursday night, he really likes Mason Taylor, who he thinks he's going to be there at 32. And Mason Taylor's out of LSU. He compared him to Zach Ertz, said he's very similar in finding the soft zone, those reliable hands. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. They could go a million directions at 32.
Yeah, well, they could also go with the kid from Bowling Green, who I like a lot.
Which has the connection to the new quarterback coach, too.
Yes, that's correct.
So it'll be fun. What's going to be terrible, though, is the draft is a little over 2 weeks away. If you wait all night to number 32, and then they trade out of the first round.
Yeah.
That'll be frustrating.
All right, so along with talking about the Phils now exerting a little bit of superiority and the Eagles coming up on the draft, there's this fascinating story about Bill's niece. We'll get to in a second. Bill's niece, a really good basketball player in upstate New York, and we'll talk about her.
Well, if it's Sirianni's niece, wouldn't it technically be my daughter? Since him and I are cousins? No, that would be if we were brothers.
it'd be your niece. We'll talk about that. I would like you to list the things that you cheap out on, because there's a ton. I got more than you even can fathom.
I think I need to get a little bit cheaper.
Stuff that I was raised. The cheapdom that I was raised on, Bill, you could write a book, like 200-page book.
My grandfather would probably rival you, I'm telling you.
610-632-0975, back after this.
Tyrone Johnson.
Howie so far, outside of Ojolari, I don't believe in none of them. The reason is too much has to go right. This guy has to get to Stoutland University.
Well, it's 11:41. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. The text board is singing. The chat is also singing. People want me to tell my soap fuse story. I was raised in eternal frugalness, I will admit. I've admitted this before. The old man would fuse soap slivers.
Smart.
No, it's not smart.
Because when it gets to the bottom, it just goes to waste.
When it gets to the bottom, it has no more essence. All the essence of the soap has been taken away. All you have left is a sliver. He would fuse 3 slivers together.
Hold on. Have you proven this? Because even the sliver still going to have some essence.
The sliver is not going to have any essence left.
It's still soap.
No. The essence gets drained out of soap when it gets all the way down to the bottom.
Is this
You're
true?
not going to have much essence left. Therefore, you're fusing non-essence soap. All right. Now here's something else.
I don't know if that's true.
Here's something. It's definitely true. Here's the other thing the old man did. You know, you get your oil changed. You go to Jiffy Lube, or it's cheap, right?
Yeah.
Cheap to get your oil changed.
So, well, depends on the car.
10-minute oil change, whatever. You know, you get the oil change, no muss, no fuss. Even if you take the dealership, the oil change isn't going to cost you much. No. The old man, he bought car wheel ramps.
He would do it himself?
He put the front wheels up on the ramps, get underneath the car, and change the oil.
Yeah. So
and he had me doing that. So I got a car, and I go, well, I can.
You can't take it in.
Right.
Yeah, my grandfather was the same way. He would do his own oil. I wouldn't even be able to tell you where to drain the oil.
We never, ever had a handyman.
He would do everything himself?
Yes. It was like if it was to fix a pipe. He was going to, like, what? You don't know how to fix a pipe. It doesn't matter. I'm not paying a plumber. Come on.
Now, did this carry over into your life, or did you rebel a little bit?
It carried over. Just, like these little things pop into my head every now and then. But most of the time, I go, that was ridiculous, and I'm not doing that.
What about brakes? Did he change his own brake pads too?
No, he didn't change the brake pads.
Yeah, my grandfather would do the brakes too.
Oh, he would?
Yeah.
All right.
Very frugal. Well, your dad was an Italian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
Same thing, and he was probably around the same, older than my grandfather.
You got to understand how they grew up. Like my father's side of the family were very poor. In fact, at a point where my grandmother and grandfather lived in a house that had an outhouse. They didn't have indoor plumbing at first.
Yeah,
and
that
I
would be
remember
tough.
my uncle telling me, he's like, I come over and take your father's sister out for a date. I come in the house, I go, can I go to the bathroom? They go, yeah, it's outside. I go, what the hell am I getting into?
That would be tough. Cold weather, middle of the night, having to go outside. Yeah. I don't think I could do it.
It just comes down from that. You get a little more affluent, but not much more. And then, fortunately, you're able to get your kids to college, and they'd be able to get a better job than what you had. That's the way it rolls down in an Italian family, right?
Yes. Yeah, so, and Ray, your mom's is Italian, but not your dad, right?
Yes.
Your mom's Italian. So was your family frugal, too, growing up?
We were frugal, but I don't know who that came from more. Like, it was also frugal to certain extents, and then, like, I don't think that we were always... I think there was big picture items in mind where it's like, yeah, we don't need to go, we have this at home, you don't need to go buy this. And then they ended up splurging on something else, like a vacation or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't splurge on any vacation.
Yeah, so that's... to say we were frugal doesn't necessarily give the full picture of what we were.
My father had a rule. We used to go on vacation every year in Wildwood, New Jersey, right? So, and it was the same hotel, the same week, every year. The same place every year.
Was it the week after Labor Day when it was the cheapest?
It was in August. It was the third week of August.
That's a good date, though. That's not that...
I don't know. It's kind of late in the summer. But anyway, the same people used to get the same week. So we had a camaraderie. All these people would go to the same hotels. So they had a meal plan at this hotel. So the meal plan had 2 seatings, one at 5, one at 6. We had to be off the beach by 4 to get ready for the 5 o'clock because that's when the freshest food was.
That's just smart, right there.
They wouldn't run out of food at the 5 o'clock seating.
Now, did your dad ever take you to Disney as a kid?
Disney?
Because that was expensive.
Are you kidding me?
I was thinking not.
Disney? I don't think my father could spell Disney.
Because you reminded me when you said the food plan, because it's not cheap, man. I looked into it because, I got 3 kids. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to bite the bullet and take them to Disney. It's insane.
Nah, man.
How expensive that is.
No Disney in the Missanelli kids family. Didn't work.
Yeah, my kids haven't been there yet.
All right, what else is the text board saying right today?
We got people checking in on what they're frugal about.
Yeah,
we got an unnamed texter saying that lounge around clothes, I buy brands from Costco I've never heard of, and I also only fill up my tank at Costco because they're 20% or 20 cents cheaper.
Will you drive out of your way to get cheaper gas?
No.
You won't.
Definitely
I won't
not.
either.
No.
Like for instance, there's a Giant. My grocery store is a Giant. Some Giants have gas. But the one that's not close to me, it's like you have to drive like 5 miles to it. But you'll get like 40 cents off a gallon. Would you do that for 40 cents off a gallon?
No.
You would.
I don't even acknowledge, I don't know what the gas prices are from place to place. I couldn't even tell you what I paid for gas on Saturday when I went. I don't even know what it was.
I look for cheaper gas, but I'm not going to drive. I'm not, just to get the discount from my Giant card, going to drive to the Giant gas station.
Yeah, it's more about convenience.
Yeah.
I also drive almost to empty. So it's whatever gas station's closest because I might not make it to the next one.
Yeah, I kind of do that too. All right, let me ask you this $1 million question. First of all, when you're in a drugstore, do you and you got 2 things. One's Robitussin, the other is anti-tussin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you take the generic brand?
Right. Now, which one do you buy?
I usually will go with the name brand.
You will?
Yeah, I usually will
All
go
right,
with
so
the
you
name
got Motrin, and then you got CVS ibuprofen.
Yeah, I'll usually take the name brand.
You're
I don't
going
know
name
why,
brand?
Yeah, I don't know why I do it.
Ray, you go name brand?
This is probably a frugal thing, maybe not a good healthcare thing for me. I don't really buy medicine.
Whoa, wait, what?
I have like one bottle of Advil that's like
Same.
kinda
I'm
the
actually
catch-all
that way
for
too.
me.
Wait.
I don't like taking medicine.
Well, that's not medicine. It's ibuprofen.
Yeah, it's very rare that I'll take an ibuprofen.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Very rare.
It's expensive.
Like my wife will yell at me, if you got a headache, just take it. And I'm like, I'm going to try to avoid it. I don't know why. I've always.
Drink water and take a nap.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm probably
that's my problem.
dehydrated.
Yep,
I
that's-
probably just need some water.
You guys are very weird, man. Not having Motrin or Tylenol. You know Tylenol when you feel like a little achy, you don't go Tylenol.
I have one bottle of Advil, and when
What
that bottle
the
goes
hell?
out, I might never get. any
That's the
sort of
weirdest
healthcare
thing
again.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, this is something because my wife is the opposite. If she has a headache, she'll take the medicine.
Oh, I'll bang Excedrin all day.
Yeah, and I'm like, I think I just need some water.
And I want to make this very clear because I just saw in the YouTube chat Ray is Aaron Rodgers. This is not an anti-science thing. This is strictly a financial decision on my part.
Financial decision. It's not that expensive.
I got to cut somewhere. I eat 2 meals a day.
Yeah, that I couldn't do.
All right, Bill. Let me ask you this last question. If you're at the grocery store, do you get sucked into the 2 for $1?
No.
You don't. So in other words, here it is: 2 packs of blueberries, 2 for $7.
And normally it would be $4 each. Right? No, I don't do it. I'm like, you're not going to get me to spend an extra
See, a lot of
$3.
people, there's little tricksters at the grocery store trying to get you to put the $7 out there because you're going to get 2.
Now, my grandfather, who I've told you was extremely frugal, what he would do is he would find where those deals were, and then he would go and load up. Because he loved Coca-Cola. If there was a deal on Coca-Cola, their garage would have 50 things of Coca-Cola.
Last question. Buy one, get one free? I'm in every single time.
Oh, yeah, the BOGO?
But they raised the price of the one.
But you're buying one anyway. Why not pick up the second
That's
one?
exactly right. But they're jacking up the price, so you're really getting $2 off.
Nothing's free in this world, Ray.
Nothing. Tricksters. Everybody. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Bills take 2 and 3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. The Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2 and 3 from the reigning World Series champions. Nick Castellanos a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, Phillies rallied. A big Bryson Stott hit, and Edmundo Sosa's fielder's choice put the Phillies up for good. Sosa 2 for 4 again. Great start to the season for him, and Thompson spoke post-game about getting him in the lineup more.
We got to really look at this because so far it's real. It's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday, so really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
We'll We'll keep you updated with what they end up doing with the lineup as they kick off a 3-game set with the Braves tomorrow in Atlanta. Phils 7-2 to start the season. Elsewhere, 76ers in Miami to play the Heat at 7:30 tonight. You can hear the game right here on the Fanatic. 76ers have lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also, the basketball world, Houston and Florida match up in the national championship game tonight. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update's also brought to you by Bank of America. Whether you run a local store or a global enterprise, Bank of America gives you access to business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Tidbits in the news at noon. We're going to get into some Eagle talk also in the 12 o'clock hour, including a story that I tell you, we get the hard-hitting stories in Philadelphia. And this one about Bill Colarulo's 7th grade niece was just the player of the year. Is that the way it worked? It's your niece, right?
No, Nick Sirianni's niece. Close.
It's Nick Sirianni's niece.
Close.
Oh, okay. So this is a long story I would get when we talk about stories, we do the journalistic world column inches. This looks like 30 inches worth of copy on Gianna Sirianni, a 7th grade basketball player in upstate New York, where they're from, who's a good basketball player. Now, I don't know.
Interesting, yeah.
Did you find this story interesting at all?
No, I thought it was more interesting that the decision was made to write it. Look, I'm great for her, but I don't know. I don't get the point of it. I don't get.
I'm going to tell you what the point is, because I know this for a fact. Marcus Hayes, who wrote the story, coaches in a little girls' basketball league.
So it was interesting to him.
Yeah, I think it was interesting to him. And his wife was a former Penn basketball player who also coaches with him.
Yeah, I mean, look, he puts a spin on trying to talk about the Sirianni family and how athletic they are and how excited Nick is for her and all that. But I wasn't that interested. And everyone knows how much I like Nick Sirianni. I wasn't that interested in the article.
You weren't? She wants to be like Caitlin Clark, apparently, in 7th grade. So hopefully the young Gianna, which is her name, Bill.
Gianna Sirianni.
Her name's Gianna.
Yeah, interesting.
That would be like a name you would use.
We went with Bianca.
You went with Bianca, but Gianna is kind of a relative of it, isn't it?
I don't know. It's an Italian name, I guess.
It's kind of a relative of Bianca, Gianna. And so we get this here. They went 10-0 in the Catasauqua Categories Athletic Association and 17-3 overall. They won their first playoff game, then were upset in the semis. The kid did not take it well. Quote, Gianna struggled with the loss. Said her coach, Kay Sirianni, who is also her mother and Jay's wife. So this is brother Jay's daughter.
Who we've heard about. I thought you were going to talk about the opening paragraph. That she got a text message from her cool Uncle Nick. It contained 2 Kobe Bryant
Hell
videos.
yeah.
Her cool Uncle Nick.
So much good.
I guess,
I'm
though,
the smartest coach in the world.
If you are an athlete and your uncle's a Super Bowl winning coach, you probably do have a cool uncle.
Let me ask you this. Is this a way to patronize the head football coach and maybe get some brownie points?
Probably.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
probably.
this a transparent way to do that?
I would think so. I mean, look, it's also, I guess, a relatively slow time for Philadelphia news.
Yeah, it is. You're really searching for stories.
But yeah, maybe it is. It's just kind of ironic that it's coming from the guy who went after Joel Embiid's deceased brother. He writes a glowing article about Nick Sirianni's niece.
Isn't it ironic? You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, and we broadcast every day right here in the Comcast Business Studios, where we've actually had some phone calls today, which is a good sign. It means that calls are getting through today. We're doing it, of course, Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities, Bill.
Yeah, so they're working today, because I've gotten some messages, I know you did too, from some of our avid listeners saying that they've tried and sometimes they can't get through, but we're close to the finish line here. We were talking to the engineers today, so we're close.
All right. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fanatic signing bonus. This is your chance to win $1,000. What are we doing, Ray? Sorry. Oh, there you go.
The Fanatic signing bonus.
Yes, it's time for the Fanatic signing bonus. Your chance to win $1,000. The contest keyword for this hour is match. MATCH. You have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or on our website, 975thefanatic.com, or you can text it to the special contest short code, 45911. That's 45911. One random entry will win $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone when it says Beasley. Contest rules on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Fanatic signing bonus is sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each day. We do it at 8 and 10 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 and 5 p.m. All righty. It is now, ladies and gentlemen, lunchtime. Happy lunch to everybody, and time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Oh, yes. The news at noon is brought to you by Mr. Ray Dunn, who's going to get on my bad side right away with the first story on the news at noon. So go ahead, Ray. Tweak me.
All right. Wow, I didn't know I was going to go on your bad side with this one. I thought imitation was the most sincere form of flattering here.
Now, just a mention of his name makes me crazy, Ray.
All right. Well, in that case, Shaq on his podcast doing his best Mikey Miss NBA Thief Report impression talking about one, Ben Simmons.
A lot of these can't play, and they know it. In any era, they can't play. I'm just saying. Pick and roll, one-on-one. Can't play, dog. Joker can play, Giannis can play, Dame, a couple of these guys can play, but a lot of these can't play. But Ben Simmons, that need to be arrested.
What about like a Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum can play. He's all right. I'm not going to bash him, but Ben Simmons need to be arrested. $250 for that.
Arrested, did you say?
Arrested. $250 million for that boy. Get the out of my face. Robbing people, man.
Man, he wasn't holding back.
$250 million for that boy.
Took more time to edit that clip than it did to listen to it.
It's unbelievable. He dropped, what, about 8 F-bombs in there?
Yes. You've got more F-bombs in a 30-second clip than Simmons has career threes.
There's more F-bombs in that than there was in the movie Midnight Run. And there were 250 in there. All right. Ben Simmons, yeah. He has that kind of effect on people. He has the same effect on me. Thievery. I can't take it. I can't hear his name anymore.
Now, look, I know it was a different era, but you could see why Shaq's upset. Shaq's career earnings in the NBA, $286 million. Ben Simmons is going to be pretty damn close to his career earnings in the NBA.
Well, listen, man, times dictate. But the fact that that man has been a thief for so long is just astounding to me that he continues to get away with it. And there are still teams that take a chance on it. It's like, what are you doing? Enough. Get this out the league.
Bring him back.
Get him out the league.
How excited would you be if they brought him back to Philly?
Excited?
Give us a lot to talk about.
Next, Ray.
All right, next for you. I wanted to put this one in here because I think this is the type of welcome to the league moment that Bill wants. This is how Bill wants guys to find out they've been called up to the major leagues. Chase Dollander finally getting his chance with the Rockies. He gets called up, and it was all spoiled for him by his hotel brand sending him an email.
Right before I got called into the office, I got a text from the hotel saying, "Hey, we're looking forward to welcoming your stay." And I was like, "Oh," like I started immediately, my heart dropped, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then I walk in, and thankfully our pitching coach Mahalik played it off really well, and was like, "Hey, let's just go over the scouting report." I was like, "All right, that sounds good." And I looked up and I saw the camera, and I was like, "Is this happening right now?"
All right, I'm confused. So what hotel sent him the email?
Whatever the Rockies use. One in Denver.
Okay,
he got an
so
email
it was the
from
big league hotel sent him saying that you're glad we're anticipating your stay.
Your upcoming stay in Denver. And he didn't understand what was happening because he didn't know he was getting called up. And that's what spoiled his big, you're going to the league moment.
Well, I don't know. That's a pretty good way to find out, isn't it?
Now, I think what Ray is hinting at was I had an issue with the way. Well, who was it? Was it Cam Smith? Who was it?
The Astros, yeah.
Because they made a big deal and they brought his parents in. Ray saying, I would have liked this better. He just got an email and that was it.
Oh, yeah.
But from the hotel.
Yeah. Because they didn't have a chance to cry. So
but I do
bother you, the emotion.
Yeah, no, but I do think this is a violation on the hotel's part. Like, if you are booking rooms for the Rockies, there's got to be communication there. There's no communication. The manager's got to say, hey, listen, we haven't told the guy yet. Send the email at 5 o'clock or whatever.
What do you think they're going to go through that? The traveling secretary who's got to make all these arrangements? Okay, who's the list of players that are going to be booked at this hotel? So the hotel gives every one of them a greeting, which is nice, isn't it?
Well, then I think the manager has to know, hey, I got to tell this kid before the emails go.
I'm sure they're not anticipating that something like that would happen. You think they think of that? A manager?
They should think of everything.
I better tell them because the hotel's going to alert them in an email. Come on, Bill.
Communication is key, Mike. Communication is key.
All right.
What else you got?
There's no way someone finds out that you're actually okay with. You're mad every time someone gets called up to the big leagues. You hope that they remain minor leaguers forever is really what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, Bill. He has no feel for the baseball call-up. None whatsoever.
I'm
He
agreeing
hasn't
with you.
realized how difficult it is to actually get to that moment.
I am agreeing with you. That's why it shouldn't be ruined. It shouldn't be ruined by an email from the hotel.
You disrespect baseball.
So should it be ruined by an email? Your first time being called up, you find out from a hotel?
If I got that email, I'd be delighted. I wouldn't care who told me. I'm booked at a hotel. That must mean I got called up. Whoa, let's go. Nothing wrong with that at all.
All right.
People want me to do the Cam Smith cry.
Nah, it's okay, please stop. Please stop. All right, last one for you. Today, we get to celebrate the best that is in college basketball. And I'm not talking about the national championship. Mike, we have a champion in the crown.
No, the crown! Villanova, oh, you fell short. Damn it. I was hoping they would take the crown, Ray.
Here's Gus Johnson giving you the final moments of this incredible tournament.
We'll do it. How about this? The Nebraska Cornhuskers. The college basketball crown, folks. The inaugural season.
Oh, my God.
Trust us, this tournament is going to be here for a long, long time.
Oh, God. Gus, shut up.
Big Red.
Got to be kidding me.
Champions.
Are you serious?
Trust us, Mike. It's going to be here a long time.
Of $300,000.
Oh, good Lord. God, listen, I know Gus does that, but come on. Don't insult my intelligence.
A good long time. Buckle up. We're going to be talking about the crown forever.
For forever. All these mediocre teams vying. Did you see the crowd, by the way? Did you see the crowds in these crown tournaments?
No.
Oh, but there was like 15 people in there.
I can tell by the way they were jacking the audio of the crowd right there.
You know, I think that Nebraska has the kid they call the Japanese Jordan. Don't they? They had this kid from Japan who was like a guard.
The Tominaga?
Yes. Japanese Jordan.
Is that his nickname? I didn't know that was his nickname.
What did he have in this game?
If you think I paid attention to the crowd for 2 seconds.
You're a college basketball guy.
Yes, and as a college basketball guy, I will not stand for this disgraceful tournament that's been thrown into April for the college basketball calendar.
Oh, come on now. You got to give the Japanese Jordan some props. That was the news at noon. Let's take a break. We'll come back after this. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Monday, April 7th. Over the weekend.
0% financing for 48 months. Rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when you purchase a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, the Phillies. Oh, they struck a blow on the Dodgers, winning 2 of 3 here in Philadelphia. A lot of people were down on this situation. A lot of people, including people here at the station, said the Phillies would only win 1 of 3. And here they come out of the gate. They win game 1. They win game 3. They make Shohei Ohtani look like an average player who made boneheaded decisions on the base paths and didn't score from first base on a double.
No, he did not. He made a lot of boneheaded decisions. But latest power rankings just came out from MLB.com, Mike.
Phillies number 1?
No. The Dodgers still sitting at number 1. They put the Phils at number 2.
Yeah, they're saying the Dodgers' overall strength is better than the Phillies, even though the Phillies just took 2 of 3. They took 2 of 3 at home. So, yeah, okay, they're being a little cautious. The Dodgers, I think everybody thought was the better team coming into the series. Then nobody could beat the Dodgers this year, the way they're stacked. But the Phillies played right with them in 3 games.
I don't know, man. Look, I think you put them up against each other. I still would take the Dodgers, but let's just lose the series.
Let's go with the positives and negatives. Positives and negatives. What were the negatives? Let's go with the negatives first so we can purge them.
All right, here's my negatives from the weekend, and then we'll get to the positives because there were a lot. Number 1, it's got to be Jordan Romano because he's the big
Jordan
move you made. Romano. I'm never going to say Romano. It doesn't sound right.
Romano. He's Canadian. They say it different up there. Go ahead.
Oh, is that why he says it like that? Anyway.
Come on, Mikey.
So far this season, 4 innings pitched, giving up 7 earned runs. Velo's all over the place. Is he healthy? Is he not? What the hell is going on with him? But when you let Hoffman walk and you didn't bring back Estevez, you had to hope Romano was going to be the answer. And as of right now, I don't know what his issue
their
is.
bullpen, is it fair to say, is considerably worse than it was last year.
9 games in, it would appear that way. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way.
Now, so here's my question. Even though they struck a blow this weekend, can you win a World Series with your bullpen as weak as it is?
As weak as it is now, no.
Okay, even measured against the good starting pitchers that you have.
Well,
can you win with the bullpen in this current state when your starters from 1 to 5 are really good?
Yes, because when you say 1 to 5 are really good, I think in a postseason, at least one of those guys can be moved to the bullpen. Because you don't need 5 starters in October.
All right, that's fair.
So that'll help you.
Now, none of those guys have experience in pressure late inning situations.
Well, Ranger's done it.
Okay.
Right? Not at an extended period of time, but he's done it before. And look, you got to hope, as disappointing as Dombrowski's been at trade deadlines in the past, you got to hope that if this continues, where there's big question marks in the back end of the bullpen, that they make a move at the deadline for another, I guess, a right-handed reliever is what you need. You mentioned that earlier. But it's still a long season. But that would be one negative for me, is the bullpen, mainly because of Jordan Romano.
There you go.
I said it right that time.
Romano.
The next one for me, it's Brandon Marsh. It's Brandon Marsh. I mean, this guy, he just looks lost at the plate again. On pace again for 145 strikeouts. Can't hit left-handed pitching. Can't bunt. I know he makes that big play in center field. That's great, but he's not there just for his fielding, because if he was, you could just start Rojas. If all we cared about was fielding in center field, then just start Rojas. You don't need Brandon Marsh. So that was a negative for me this weekend. And then another one, Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm does not look like he matured. Not only has he come out to a relatively slow start, I think the body language is bad again. And he gets sat on Sunday, whether it was because they wanted Sosa's hot bat in the lineup or not. If Bohm was doing what he needed to do, he's not sitting on Sunday against the Dodgers.
He's hitting 200. Kepler's hitting 200. Marsh is hitting 200.
So do you look at that as a positive or a negative? You could say, well, they're still 7-2, even with all that.
Those are 3 important players in your lineup, and they're at 200. Now, I think Bohm will be fine. Kepler, we're taking a big leap of faith on Kepler being an everyday left fielder, and Marsh taking a very big leap on him being an everyday center fielder, both of whom are hitting 200 right now.
Well, Kepler's what, 179? right now.
Is he 179? Yeah, I didn't count.
Yeah,
Sunday.
and I think Marsh is 174.
Oh, they're both under 200.
Yeah, because of Sunday's performance.
Sunday's performance.
Now, I will give Kepler a little bit of credit. His on-base percentage isn't bad because he's walked a decent amount. So his on-base percentage is 343, which is above his career average. But you're right. I mean, when we look at last season and you look at, well, what sank you last season? You didn't have strong bats in the outfield. And then guys like Alec Bohm and Trey Turner didn't have a great second half of the season. So that's why I say I'm conflicted. Like Brandon just asked us one word to describe the Phillies this weekend. I said I'm conflicted because I'm excited that they took 2 or 3. I love the way they did it, battling back, and you got a great start from Luzardo and all that. But there are some negatives that need to be addressed or figured out.
All right. I think they are a solid contending team.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
I am not fretting at all on these negatives yet.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Except for the bullpen, which I thought was going to be a problem the whole time.
Now, before we hit the break, real quick, though, major positive. I'm getting on Dombrowski for the Romano and Kepler signing.
You're a Jesus man?
Oh, my God.
Believe in Jesus.
I said I was excited to see what he could do against a lineup like the Dodgers. What a performance.
And a great story there with the parents coming in and being interviewed. Well, what do you think of the mom?
She's excited for her son. I like that they don't miss a pitch, man. They were into it. I loved it.
What'd you think of the mom?
Great mom, great dad.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies take 2 or 3 over the champs. Summary done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2 of 3 from the reigning World Series champs. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, the Phillies rallied behind a big Bryson Stott hit. Mundo Sosa's fielder's choice put him up for good. Sosa 2 for 4 again, now with a .550 average in these opening 9 games of the season. Thompson spoke postgame about getting him in the lineup more.
You know, we got to really look at this because so far it's real. You know, it's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
We'll keep you updated what the lineup may look like as the Phillies open up a 3-game set with the Braves tomorrow night in Atlanta. The Phils 7-2 to start the season. Elsewhere, 76ers in Miami to play the Heat tonight at 7:30. Catch the game right here on the Fanatic. 76ers lost 11 in a row and have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball world, Houston and Florida will match up in the national championship game tonight. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update's brought to you by Naloxone. And this one, brought to you by Vital Strategies. Opioid overdoses can happen anytime, but Naloxone can save a life. It's easy, safe, and free. Be ready, carry Naloxone. Learn more at youcansavelives.org. Operates on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
haven't talked Sixers yet. Why would we? It's really an interesting little situation when James Harden throws shade at Paul George. Now, I thought they were buddies, right? Play together, but now, do we have the audio on this, Ray?
That we do.
We do have audio. So this is James Harden, and they asked him, how come you guys are so much more efficient this year than last year?
It's just different. It's a different team. Like, we got guys that knows, their role and know what they're supposed to be doing, consistently on a 99 basis, like, from the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So it's a different team.
What do you feel like makes it different this year as opposed to last year?
Personnel. I mean, you guys know, the players that we had last year. So, it's a different team.
Oh, the players that played here last year. Uh-oh. What's that, Billy?
I don't know. I wonder, and this is just pure speculation here, but I wonder if Harden's upset that Paul George didn't listen to him and signed with the Sixers. Because you remember, last season, Harden's talking about you can't trust Daryl Morey. He probably talked to Paul George this offseason, said, look, you don't want to sign there. You don't want to go play for this guy. And then George does it anyway. I wonder if he's a little bit, look, I told you not to trust that guy. Now, not that Paul George doesn't have his own issues.
Well, why would he say personnel? You know who was here last year. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it possible that he's saying, yeah, that dude doesn't have desire? I played with him last year. He plays what he wants to. He has no desire. And because Morey doesn't talk to Harden anymore, Harden couldn't tell him that.
Well, no, I thought that's what I'm saying is I thought that they were friends. And the fact that Paul George didn't listen to Harden and goes and signs with the Sixers, maybe that's why now he's taking a little shot at him.
If he appreciated his talents, he wouldn't have said what he just said. If he's mad at him, there's another way to be mad at him. He denigrated his talents. He said, you know who was here last year.
I get it. But also, when you look at Paul George's numbers last year, he had career highs across the board in many categories.
Yeah, but he also got that gene where people say, there's a few other people have said, he kind of like he plays when he wants.
Evan Turner said it, right?
Evan Turner blasted him.
Right when they signed him, they're going to be the softest team in the NBA.
Yep.
So maybe Harden knows. Now, if you could go back, we have a time machine, and you could go back, would you have tried to do everything in your power to keep Harden here if you were Daryl Morey?
No.
You still thought that was the smart move? Get rid of him.
I had enough of him. I don't like guys that bail, and that dude bailed in big spots. That's enough for me.
Well, the last two games against the Celtics?
I also would not have signed Paul George. None. No chance I would have signed that contract with him. None.
Yeah. I mean, now.
And look what they got.
In hindsight, for me, yep.
They got egg that I won't eat on their face.
Totally wrong on your egg take, but you're right on the Sixers take. Wrong on the eggs.
You look to me like I'm going to offer some unique perspective on the eggs thing. We've covered this. I'm an eggs guy as well.
Well, this morning I saw you just with a plain bagel. Is that financially based?
That's
is that
financially
the Frugal?
based. That's absolutely financially
Let me tell you, I'm so I'll eat stuff that eggs makes, like cutlets and stuff. But when I have French toast, I literally can gag on the taste of egg.
Wait, hold on. I never thought of that. You dip your cutlet in egg before you bread it.
Yeah, but it's fried and breaded, and then the egg just blends in with the cutlet.
I didn't even think about this.
Like the French toast is a pure egg layer.
You put egg in your meatballs or no?
Yeah, you need the egg to bind them.
Yeah, this is a major violation on your part.
The egg, it doesn't taste like egg when you do it that way. There's no egg taste. Whenever I have the egg taste, that's what gives me the skeeves.
I don't think you get an egg taste on French toast.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's pure egg. It's coated in egg. It's like a fried egg on bread. What are you talking about? You dip it in the egg, you put it in the griddle. It's fried egg on top of a piece of bread.
Wait, what's the other chicken dish that's kind of like egg dipped? Chicken Francaise. You do a chicken Francaise?
No.
Too much egg for you in that?
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. Eggs are my favorite part of the day.
That's why you're all cholesterol.
Your favorite?
I love breakfast.
That's why your cholesterol's way high.
I love breakfast. Yesterday I went. I got a bacon, egg, and cheese with avocado on an everything bagel. You got the yolk dripping out, and then now You're also missing out. You ever have a burger with a fried egg on it?
Oh, that's good.
It's the phenomenal. And the yolk drips and you dip the egg.
God,
Now, Capitol Grill every once in a
gotta
while
be kidding me with
does a
it.
Wagyu special burger, and you can get a fried egg on it, dude. It's phenomenal. You're nuts, man. You're missing out.
There's nothing worse than seeing a runny egg. I can't even look at it, much less eat it.
The
I
dip
love
of the
it.
runny egg?
Good
It's the best,
Lord.
Ray.
Unreal.
It is. It's the
You go
best.
skeeve eating a yolk like that?
Oh, I love it.
Like I can see a scrambled egg. Not with a yolk.
No, the yolk's the best part, especially with a burger, and the yolk
It's like you're eating
pours out.
You're eating a birth or something when you eat a yolk.
It's a non-fertilized egg.
I get it, but it's still kind of a birth.
No, it's phenomenal.
All right.
People are saying egg on a burger is a violation. You guys are wrong in the YouTube chat. Wrong.
It's the fufu burger puts an egg on top. I've seen the fufu burgers.
Yeah,
Try to jazz it up by putting an egg on there.
Love it.
Here's this
Love
Italian dish where you put the yolks in a tomato sauce, like a big pan of tomato sauce, and you put the egg in, and it cooks inside the tomato sauce.
Isn't that a
I forget-
carbonara? Don't you use egg in a carbonara sauce?
No, that's a carbonara is different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual egg, like a fried. It becomes a fried egg, a sunny side up egg on top of sauce. That has a name to it. I forget.
Shakshuka?
Yeah, is it shakshuka?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
It's a shakshuka. Was somebody in the chat just give you that?
No, it just
No.
came to me. I know my food. I know my food.
All right,
I
let's-
actually thought of you this weekend. I was watching a clip on social. It was The Floor. You know that game, The Floor?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
and-
With Rob Lowe?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had to go back and forth. They put up pictures of pasta, and you had to name every single pasta.
Yeah, I could never do that.
You don't think?
There's like more pastas than we know what to do with.
I was going to tag you in the video. I forget what. Well, I think it was on Instagram.
Listen, I can name like maybe 7, but beyond that, I mean, there's so many varieties of pasta that people make.
I was a lot better than I thought I would.
Really?
be. Yeah, I thought I did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah.
I think you'd be better than you think.
I don't think so.
For someone who makes their own pasta.
I don't make the like. Give me an example. Like, name some pastas. Go ahead. Go down. Because I can name you the regular pasta. Like
The orecchiette.
Let's go. All right, the orecchiette.
Yeah.
You got the orecchiette. I'll tell you that. It's pig's ears.
Yeah, the
cow's ears or whatever you call it.
Now, some of the ones that were hard were
tagliatelle.
Tagliatelle's a tough one.
That's not that because that's a noodle. I could get the tagliatelle.
Or the one that looks like spaghetti, but it's a little bit bigger, and there's a hole in the middle.
Peachy.
I think isn't that it starts with a B?
It's in Rome it's called peachy, but I know what you're talking
Is it the
about. It's
bucattis or something like that?
Bucatini.
Bucatinis. There it is.
Yeah,
like those were the tougher ones.
Yeah, I can do that.
But then
there's all kinds of different other shapes.
But you're going to get angel hair, spaghetti. You're going to get the orzos. You're going to know the rigatonis, the fusillis, the
I hate
pennes.
the people that call it pencil points. It's a penne. You can't say penne. You got to say pencil points.
No,
like I don't get that. What do you want? Pencil points? Yeah, it's penne. Medigons go pencil points.
I kind of want you to do that. I got to find that clip.
Ray's laughing over there.
I'm so sorry. I can't get it. Bill was talking about having something inside the hand motion that YouTube caught Bill doing.
What was I doing?
I don't want to mimic it.
You do a hand motion?
What was I doing?
Talking about how something was inside something else.
Oh, and I did this.
You did that?
I said there's like a little thing, but there's a hole.
What the hell?
I was talking about the pasta.
Stop doing it again.
I'm
There's
talking
a hole
about
in
the
the
pasta.
middle.
Ray, get your mind out of the gutter here.
You're doing it at the camera.
We're talking about pasta.
It's an obscenity what you just did.
My God, Ray.
That's not Ray. I think
It's on you, man.
I didn't see you do that.
Let me ask you. When I made that hand motion, you instantly knew what spaghetti I was talking about.
No.
What pasta I was talking about.
I was thinking of the hole in the middle of the noodle.
That's what I was trying to do.
I didn't see you do that with the hand.
Inappropriate, Ray. I'll tell you.
Oh no, I think that was appropriate.
What's your favorite pasta, Mike?
I'm partial to the tagliatelle.
You like those?
Noodle. I like that with a nice bolognese.
Interesting. I'm a big bolognese fan too. I think bolognese is probably my
Can't
favorite.
beat a bolognese.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. I kind of like.
I like an order with the sausage and the broccoli rabe.
Yeah, that's good. That is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Now, did your parents ever make? Every once in a while, my grandma usually made spaghetti, but every once in a while we would get over rice. like gravy over just white rice. You ever had
never
that?
did the rice.
Oh, it's good, man. Now this will probably be a
Listen,
major
I'm
violation.
putting tomato sauce, tomato gravy. I ain't putting it over rice.
Now
all
this
right?
would really make you upset.
What?
Sometimes in the morning.
Look at that. What?
Yeah,
Uh-oh,
Dylan broke the putter.
The
No,
putter?
I broke the putter.
Oh, Ray broke
I
Dylan's
broke
putter.
it.
I meant to say.
What happened, Ray? What'd you do? You broke.
I was just putting over the weekend.
broke our
I
station
tapped it on the ground and things smacked and just broke it
I'm
out.
sure it was a quality putter for that to happen.
Well, Ray
Top
said he
flight.
was going to buy him another one. I said you better be careful. Putters aren't cheap.
Yeah, I got the remains of the putter right here. The actual head of the club. Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna get him this exact
You're
one.
gonna weld it?
No,
He's going to try to fix it.
no.
you're
When it
gonna-
happened, I was like, "There's no way that just broke like that."
You're gonna get a new shaft on that putter head? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I'm just gonna get a new putter. New putter.
See, now, putters
gonna-
can be expensive.
Yeah,
though,
but
Ray.
not this putter. I can assure you. I'll block the brand out in case they want to sponsor us, but not this putter. I looked it up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is it a Knight brand?
It's a lousy putter head, by the way. So don't even worry about it.
So I got the
I'd toss-
Odyssey
I
putter.
would toss that. I wouldn't look for the same one.
Hold on, I want to, real quick on the pasta stuff. Is this a violation for you? It's got to be. So my grandmom for breakfast sometimes would take the gravy, scrambled eggs, put it on a nice Italian roll. So you put the gravy over the eggs. Could you do it?
No.
Delicious, Mike. Delicious.
610-632-0975. And have egg sandwich with tomato gravy.
Oh, delicious.
Come on now. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone
What is it about Aaron Nola that makes people bail out real early on him? Personality? The fact that he's not a power pitcher? What is it where people just can't wait for him to fail so they can pile on?
I'm not one of those people, so I'm not an Aaron Nola hater, but if I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, it could be the contract, because he gets paid like he's an ace, and I think he's been so reliable. Even though he gives up the home run ball, I get it. I think he's led the majors in home runs allowed, or he's been top 3 in home runs allowed over the last couple seasons. He's still extremely reliable, but I think people look at it, and you said he's not Wheeler, and I think they compare him to a true ace like a Zach Wheeler, and he's just not that. He's very good. I think he's probably one of the best 2s in Major League Baseball if you're looking at other pitching staffs. He gave up 3 earned runs on Saturday. People lost their mind, Mike. 3 earned runs. Sanchez gave up 4 yesterday. No one said a word.
People do not like pitchers that give up bombs. And he gives up a lot of them. And he normally gets them solo bombs. But he's been giving up multi-run bombs.
In his first start, there was a lot of multi-run. But look, when you give up 3 runs on Saturday against the L.A. Dodgers, and you have a lineup like the Phillies have, Nola did his job. The Phillies should win on Saturday. You only give up 3 runs to the Dodgers. You should win when you have a lineup like the Phillies. So I didn't blame Nola for the loss on Saturday, but you're right. A lot of people jump ship immediately.
Yeah.
I saw it all over Twitter.
They do. I don't know what it is. I'd love to hear people's opinion of Aaron Nola and why. It's almost like they wait for something bad to happen with this guy. They really do. And he's been a pretty reliable guy. You can. There are games that stand out that he has given up a ton of runs and a ton of home runs. But I have a tendency to think that they wash away every good start that he makes. Like he would have to make 10 great starts in a row to get acknowledged as a really important pitcher.
Now, I just Googled something because I thought he would be near the top of the list. I said, most innings pitched in the last 5 years. And this is going from April 7th of 2020 to April 7th of 2025. Aaron Nola, number 1, and it's not even close. He's pitched 861 innings in the last 5 years. Coming in at number 2, Zach Wheeler at 842. The most innings pitched in all of Major League Baseball. The guy is reliable, man.
Yeah, he really is. All right, by the way, we have a deal of the week. And
Another good one.
It's from Broad Street Brewing. The Fanatic deal of the week, you get a $50 voucher to Broad Street Brewing in Bristol for just $25. Broad Street Brewing in Bristol, huh? I don't think I know that place.
You don't know it?
I think it might be the township.
We should go.
I think it's on the other side of Route 13, which is what we call the township. Not the borough.
Not the borough. Wait, so it's not on that downtown strip.
I don't think it is. No, but it's right there. It's close to I-95, Route 413. It's right in the area there. And you can get a $50 voucher for just $25. That's a lot of beer drinking, Ray.
Oh,
Ray,
yeah.
Did you buy one yet?
No, not yet. But I'll be honest with you, this deal has now put me on to Broad Street Brewing, and I think I'm going to have to make a trek.
There you go. Fresh beer brewed. Broad Street Brewing celebrates Philly's vibrant culture and rich history with expertly crafted beer that pays tribute to the spirit of Philadelphia. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. Do we have any more text on the frugalness of people and how they have carried these lessons of frugalness from their parents maybe into their modern day?
Not necessarily from the parents, but we do have a texter saying that he refuses to pay the 89 cents at Wawa for a dressing pouch if he's buying a sandwich wrap.
A dressing pouch? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's the salad dressings, but it's the pouches that you have to grab. So they have like ranch.
Oh,
and
you got to
French
pay
and all
extra
that.
for that?
I didn't know you had to pay extra.
89 cents?
Apparently so, and that's something
Well, how else does he dress the salad? If he buys a salad,
It's a great follow-up.
Takes it home?
Send
be
another
included.
text. We do have one with parents here. Thanks to my Italian mom, I always take the extra napkins, even the ones left on the table. It's just like taking the bread home.
Yeah.
The napkins are different.
I do that too, though.
What, take a lot of napkins?
Yeah, like if you open up my middle console in my car, I have a ton of napkins.
Well, because you got the kids.
Yeah.
And, of course, they spill stuff.
Well, or they sneeze and you look in the rearview mirror and there's snot just hanging out.
Oh, God.
Dad! It's like, all right, here.
No,
wipe your mouth.
Napkins.
Wipe your nose.
Napkins are not a violation. They take the napkins.
No, that's not a violation.
No. But how many times have you been to a place where they forget to put the napkins in the bag? Oh, you don't do fast food. That's right.
No, because I told you I just picked up Chipotle yesterday. You got to grab the napkins and the silverware yourself, the plasticware yourself.
Why are the napkins so hard to find in convenience stores? Do you find that?
Yeah, they probably don't want you to take them.
Really? Is that what it is?
Save money.
So they're hard to find?
Yeah.
Like you got to walk all over the store. Where are they? At the coffee station? Or are they over here? Or at the counter? Where are they?
They want to save money.
All right. What else you got, Ray?
We got someone following up on the dinner roll conversation. JB in Pottstown saying, let me get this straight. Mike's gone on for 45 minutes about how great it is to be frugal and will not pay for certain things, but he has a problem with taking dinner rolls home from a restaurant.
Yeah, because that's
true.
That's
Good point.
That's being cheap. That's like the rolls are there as a convenience for the restaurantee.
Back to the
you
rolls.
don't take them. They're not yours. They're just a convenience as a side to the dinner that you're going to pay for.
They're getting thrown out anyway. See, this was one of the first times.
Go with this. They're getting thrown out of it.
They're
We don't know that they're getting thrown out.
They better get thrown out.
Maybe they're being given to somebody. What do I know? They're getting thrown out.
Used?
Dude, they're being taken to a soup kitchen or something. What do I know?
No, Ray, remember when this conversation came up, somebody texted in or whatever and says, oh, no, we take the rolls and we use them for breadcrumbs or whatever. That's a massive violation. These were already on the table. People could have sneezed on them, breathed on them. You take them home or you throw them out.
Do you ever grow concerned that the legacy of this show is the dinner roll conversation?
It has been. It's the conversation that won't go away.
The text board lights up with it at least once a week.
You couldn't be any cheaper than to pile a bunch of rolls in your pocketbook and take them home.
Now, listen, if you pulled
embarrassing.
If you pulled the Paulie and asked for more because they're for your ma, that would be a violation. But if they're already on the table, you just put them in with the food if you're taking food. I will not understand this take from you.
Listen, if you're taking home a little entree that requires an accompaniment like a roll, you can stick one roll in there. You don't empty the basket.
We're beating them down, Mike.
Basket.
Ray, we're beating them down.
Now, beat me down.
Now he's all right with one roll.
Basket, you're going to dump it in a paper bag to take home? Come on now.
Now, we have a text here that's kind of game changing. Jay Biggs texted in, if you don't download the app Too Good To Go, it's a food leftover from businesses that they need to get rid of for cheap. Apparently there's an app for this like surplus food that you'd be able to get for cheap.
I don't do surplus
What, like
food.
the end of the day foods?
Surplus food?
Listen, apparently it's a game changer.
That's an app I'm not downloading.
That's
food
a third meal for
at
me.
the end of the day.
I'll be back to 3 meals a day. It'd be like I'm living at home again.
Right, you eat a lot of soups, like canned soups.
No,
No,
I did the soup. Actually, it's funny. Before the Phillies game I went to last Wednesday, I needed something to eat because I hadn't eaten all day. I don't think. I just went around the corner of the bodega and I picked up a can of soup and chips, $2.50. Can't get a better deal than that for lunch. Made myself the soup, had the chips, went to the game. Might have been the reason why I was a little feeling it the next day.
Ray's stressed out financially, right? You got to understand. Ray's making X amount of dollars, right? He's got Philadelphia rent. He's got to pay for.
He's only 24.
He's got to drive all the way here into Ballacuma from the city. He's got dates he's got to worry about. This is a stressed out financial man.
Honestly, I've started to cut out the dates.
But let me ask you: are the dating apps? They're not always free anymore, right? You could upgrade.
I'm not paying.
You don't
to meet someone
upgrade
online. No.
Wait, what is it with Hinge? What's the upgrade on Hinge?
I think you might be. I don't know what you get. But
what's the one where you could like send flowers and stuff?
The rose. Yes, you get the rose, the special yes.
The rose.
Hell no.
So you're not paying for that?
No.
I don't blame you.
We'll find it for free. Or
I think we ought
find
to
it
start
all.
a GoFundMe for Ray.
For Ray?
Yeah.
For his dating app or his food?
I think it'll make him happy. I don't think Ray's as happy as he should be in life.
That's
I think it.
I can't afford a therapist, so I'll take this now.
I think it could be financial.
Hold on.
GoFundMe for Ray. Come on.
You say that, though.
What?
Ray has season tickets to the Sixers. How many Phillies games did you go to last year?
27.
Okay, 27 Phillies games.
Ray literally sits in a raft.
But if it was that bad financially for Ray, I don't think he would go to as many games as
he's
he goes.
splitting it with his mates.
Yeah,
because
Can we contextualize the season tickets for those that might not chime in? I'm one of 8 guys on 2 seats in the 200 level. It's not like I'm necessarily lower level where I have 2 tickets where I'm paying for both of myself. Mister, I'm at center ice.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other story we're not going to get into right
let's
now.
take a break. 610-632-0975. I'd love to chat with you. That's what you got to do. Call that number. We'll get you after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies take 2-3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2-3 over the reigning World Series champions. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, the Phillies rallied. Bryson Stott a big hit. Mundo Sosa's fielder's choice put them up for good. Sosa 2 for 4 again. Now off to a .550 batting average to open up the season. Rob Thompson spoke post-game about keeping him in the lineup.
You know, we got to really look at this because so far it's real. You know, it's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
Keep you updated with the lineup this week as the Phillies open up a 3-game set with the Braves tomorrow night in Atlanta. Elsewhere, the 76ers in Miami to play the Heat tonight at 7:30. You can listen to the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. 76ers have lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball world, Houston and Florida matching up tonight in the national championship game. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $84 on select sets of 4 Nokian tires at AAA Car Care Centers. Offer ends April 15th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Roses app is, right? What's going on with this Roses app? This is a new app?
No, this is Hinge, but you can use the
Hinge.
rose.
But you could pay money, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hinge, and you can pay money for roses?
Yes.
So instead of just liking someone's profile or whatever, you could send them a rose to show you're really interested.
Oh, you send them a rose?
Yes.
How much does the rose cost?
I don't know, Bill. How much does the rose cost?
Bill, have you done this? Your wife apparently is accusing you of doing this.
Yeah, so I was asking Ray about it, and I get a text while we're having that conversation from my wife. Don't act like you don't know you did that. I definitely did not do that. So I don't know what this is. Now, her and I did meet on Hinge, but I didn't send a rose.
Oh, you met on Hinge?
We met on Hinge. Great app, by the way.
What?
I'm a big fan of it.
I didn't know this.
Yes.
What's the deal? Okay, give me the Hinge thing.
Hinge is a dating app, but what's nice about it is it's structured more like social media, where people have like pictures and things that they say, and instead of just swiping left or right, you could like comment on things like you would
So you
on
get a
Facebook.
little chat going with them first?
Yeah,
or?
but you could like a picture or like something that they said, and then you have like a conversation going. They say it's the app that is meant to be deleted, meaning you're going to meet somebody, and their algorithm must work.
Okay, let's not get carried away. It worked for you.
So you have used Hinge before you met your wife, or is it one time you met the wife and that was the end?
So I've actually made this joke to my wife that I met her too soon, because I downloaded Hinge, had a bunch of chats going, Ray. And then the first person,
so cool.
I know, I'm kidding. But then the first person I met on Hinge was my wife, and we just hit it off. And then I just deleted the app like a couple days later because
I thought you meant like pumping iron at the gym. I thought it was one of those type of things.
Well, I guess there's like algorithms and stuff. So I guess they put you together knowing that you may have similar interests. Funny thing though that Hinge does. This is a funny story, not about my wife. Hinge would make you like. They would tell you who's like a super match for you.
Most compatible.
Most compatible. So I wake up one morning and I open up my phone, and the most compatible, they put me with my cousin. my cousin, they told us they're most compatible. So I guess they're not wrong. We're very similar. We're related. But it was just funny that their algorithm.
How far removed was the cousin?
A couple removed. But it was funny.
In other words, you could have dated her?
No, I wouldn't have. It was just.
It's the fourth cousin. What do I care?
But however, I never paid extra for the rose. So that's a lie from the wife.
I'm not buying it. I think you might
have you done the rose?
No.
No?
No.
You refuse to pay?
Yeah. But if I don't find it for free, I'm not finding it.
Oh, you're listening to Mike Missanelli show. It's WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, and you are listening from the Comcast Business Studios where we broadcast, Powering Possibilities.
Oh, another curveball thrown in here now. Mm-hmm. So someone on YouTube who hasn't been here in a while, Cryptic Gaming, just posts, Bill looks like he's aged 10 years since I last tuned in. The hair is messing with me. I think I look younger with the hair, no? Do I look 10 years older with the hair?
No, you don't. You don't look old.
Ray, be honest with me. I know you're always brutally honest.
No, you don't look older.
10 years older with hair?
Not 10 years older.
Come on, Cryptic Gaming.
Yeah, the hair in the front is it's a little pubic.
Hold on.
I gotta be honest.
My wife made fun of me. Wait, what did she say I looked like? There's some cartoon character.
I gotta be honest.
Hold on. Who was it? If she's listening, text it to me. She told me I looked like some cartoon character, and when I looked at it, it was the same thing. It looked like thin hair.
It's a little pubic.
Well, it's still growing back. I'm still in the awkward stage here.
Awkward.
Right? I'm still in the awkward stage.
I don't have you don't have that thickness. You got that Trey Young pubescent hair.
Oh, now, yeah, a lot of people are weighing in. I look healthier without hair.
No, you don't look healthier without hair.
I forget.
You look a lot better with the hair.
Yeah, please don't go back to the other look. I was genuinely concerned about you when you came in.
Oh, man.
I'm being. You want the brutal honesty? The last look when you came in and started to rock it, I was very concerned.
Well, that was a shocker, too, when I came in with the shaved head.
Yes, and I was genuinely
and
concerned.
a bad beard. Like, not a stubble beard.
Yeah, but you got to be willing to take. You got to be willing to take risks.
No,
I had the Abraham Lincoln beard. I took a shot. Didn't work. You know what I mean? You got to have the confidence to pull it off.
All right. By the way, we're doing a Fanatic signing bonus cash contest here. So if you listen, you have to listen 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., 5 p.m. Do not miss those times because we'll give you a keyword. And we announced the keyword. You have 25 minutes after the hour to enter the keyword. We've done our share today, so we'll continue for the next show with 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Now, it's on the contest page at 975thefanatic.com. You can find out all the information on it or via the Fanatic app on your mobile device, or you can text the keyword to a short code. So always write it down with ink in your palm of your hand. 45911. One winner will get $1,000, and we're doing this 5 times a day. It's
pretty good.
That's costing the company $5,000. You think they might put that towards the phone system, but no, it's fine. they're putting it in your pocket.
No, it's
in
pretty
your
good,
pocket,
dude.
And our phones are the way they are. So there you go.
$1,000, it's worth it.
Put an extra $5,000 on that phone tab there, and maybe you get a really good system. So upsetting. Anyway, one winner gets $1,000. It's sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Contest rules are at 975thefanatic.com. All right, we have any phone calls on the line right now, Ray? If not, you can get in with us. I want to know what you think this Philly series did for your hopes. The big bad Dodgers came in. Most people said, they're going to win only 1 of 3. They wound up winning 2 of 3 in the games that I said they would win. And they roll on. And the power rankings have them still second to the Dodgers. Here's the thing you got to factor with the Dodgers. Somewhere along the line, Ohtani is coming back to pitch.
Yeah, he had his bullpen session at Citizens Bank Park, didn't he?
Yes, which will strengthen their rotation and put somebody else maybe in the bullpen to give them more strength. But their bullpen didn't look that exceptional to me, even though they loaded up by spending a lot of money to load up on their bullpen. And their lineup, without Freddie Freeman in it, I saw some weaknesses, to be honest. Now, Freddie's going to be part of the lineup, so you got to measure the Dodgers with Freddie Freeman in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good baseball team. There's no doubt. They're a good baseball team. They're deep. I'm looking more at the Phillies. I don't even want to compare them to the Dodgers as much as I'm just looking at the Phillies. What do they need to give them the best possible shot to win a World Series this year? And I think they do need to improve the bullpen or figure out what's going on with Romano. Maybe it is just a mechanical thing. Maybe it's not. He's hurt. He says he feels fine. I know the last 2 years he hasn't been healthy, but maybe they could figure something out. Because here's what's weird, Mike. You're a baseball guy. It's not as if Romano's velocity is down every pitch. It's like fluctuating up and down.
He's not getting the 98, though.
No, he's not getting up there.
And that's where he was.
So that's concerning.
It's totally concerning. I mean, you're talking about a 4 or 5 mile an hour drop on a fastball.
On a guy who needs it. He's not really an artist. He's going to try to beat you with his...
He's not bad, though. He does pick spots. When he throws the fastball, he did hit some spots. But he's got to get that pumped. I don't know what it is. He said, dead arm. Dead arm. In spring training, he got to 98. Now, why would he have a dead arm? It's post spring training? If he's got a dead arm this quickly in the season, that's not good.
No, it's not ideal. I'm looking at his numbers. Yeah, so last year... What did he do last year? He didn't pitch much.
He was just hurt last year.
So he didn't pitch much.
You can discount. When I saw him a couple of years ago, I really liked him. I said, this guy's got some pop.
Well, he was a stud. With Toronto those 2 years, what do you have? Over 30 saves each season. Yeah, going back to 22 and 23, he had 36 saves, but then last year he just wasn't healthy. So, I don't know, man. They got to figure something out there, but if Romano can figure it out, now you feel a little bit better about the bullpen. You know who's actually looked pretty good is Ruiz. He hasn't looked bad as a low leverage guy. He's not going to be in high leverage situation.
Yeah, he gets 1 out in the 6th.
He hasn't been bad. He's a decent reliever.
I want to hear from the manager. We just heard it from him. I want to hear it again to make sure I heard it right about Sosa, because this is one of my biggest fears. When you overuse a part-time player, you reduce his effectiveness. And here's Rob Thompson.
We got to really look at this because so far it's real. It's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
Yeah, and he's going to wind up getting full-time at-bats because if you're going to play him at every position, you can always rest the guy and play him. And I'm telling you, I don't like it. I know a lot of people go, Mike, you got to be crazy. He's hot. You got to play him. If you can play him, play him. I just think the wear on a part-time player makes them evaporate eventually, and I want to preserve them. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
From the top, she's got a body like an hourglass, it's ticking like a clock. All right, Mike Missanelli Show is 97.5 The Fanatic. It's 111. I'm looking at a mock draft. The NBA, all these NBA mock drafts are coming up here. So I'm going to go down the list to see. The Sixers look like they're in.
Don't jinx it.
Nah, I think they're in. They can't possibly win any more games.
No, but it's even if they finish fifth worst, there's still a percentage chance that they fall out of the top six.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like right now, they have the fifth worst record.
Yeah.
There's still a 27% chance they get the seventh pick, a 9% chance they get the eighth pick.
All right, well, let's see what the mock draft has to say here. All right, let's go with the first pick in the draft is obviously Cooper Flagg, taken by the Utah Jazz. Oh, my God. Would that be the perfect spot for that dude? It would be a whiteout every game in Utah. Seriously. He and Laurie Markkinen will be in the forwards. It'll be a whiteout. All right. Number 2, the Washington Wizards, Dylan Harper. I like the kid. 2 to Washington, Dylan Harper from Rutgers.
Let me ask you real quick about Dylan Harper. And I have a feeling number 3 is going to be Ace Bailey, right? Probably.
No, he's not.
Well, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey are both probably top 4 picks.
Yeah.
How do you have 2 college basketball players on the same team that may be top 5 picks in the NBA, and yet Rutgers stinks?
Well, you got.
How's that happen?
You're pairing with 3 stiffs. That's
but
the
even
problem.
still, you would think in college basketball.
See, when you get 2 guys like that, you got to recruit guys that will accommodate those guys, like the complete role players. And maybe they just didn't do that well enough. Number 3, the Charlotte Hornets take VJ Edgecombe. Now, again, he came in the same class with Cooper Flagg. He was a highly recruited high school player. He really hasn't been a dominant player at Baylor. He's got incredible athleticism, so that's what they draft on now. So he's going 3. New Orleans Pelicans at 4, Trey Johnson, guard from Texas, solid player. So we still haven't gotten to your boy here, and here it is. The Philadelphia 76ers take Ace Bailey, the forward from Rutgers, a wing shooter. Bill, there you go.
I mean, at least it's a wing. The issue is going to be if a guard falls to them again, and now you still have McCain, Maxey. Do you bring back Quentin Grimes? What you like Ace Bailey? You think he's a good player?
I think he's a shooter. I think he's got a lot to learn. I think he's got to get tougher. Yeah, listen, they're drafting all these kids young based on potential. That kid's not coming into the league making an immediate impact. Not.
Little raw?
Yeah.
He's only 18, right?
Yeah, he's very young. And I think Dylan Harper makes an immediate impact because he's just great with the ball. A 3-and-D guy adjusting the NBA a little tougher. Like McCain was great with the ball. You saw how he can maneuver with the basketball. Get the spots, whatever.
So here's my concern, though, with any of those Rutgers guys. And Sean Comp on our YouTube chat just says it now. How did Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz do in the NBA? 2 guys who couldn't elevate their teams in college. And now you got 2 guys from the same team who couldn't elevate.
There's a lot of guys that are drafted that can't elevate their teams. I mean, you look at the past drafts, you'll find that their
it's
teams
burned the Sixers, though.
Well, but it burns everybody. You know, Ellie, you can't pick a guy because they didn't elevate their teams. You pick a guy based on pure talent.
Yeah, we'll see what
Look at the drafts, and you tell me, like, who really elevated their teams. They're all picked on athleticism and potential these days.
Yeah, I get it, but it does make you concerned.
I'm going to do that as a little exercise.
Why, you going to look at the NBA draft?
Talk while I look this up.
While you're looking that up, it's now 1:15, and we still have not mentioned the greatest accomplishment of the weekend in the world of sports.
What was that? The
hit the horn, Ray! Hit the horn!
The Flyers winning?
No.
Oh.
Alex Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin. Now, let me ask you this question. Gretzky has been the GOAT for so long.
He still is.
He will always be the GOAT?
Yeah, Gretzky's still the GOAT. Because Ovechkin passes him in goals, but Gretzky's still he's still on a different level. I mean, Ovechkin's incredible, though. Like, maybe just as impressive as the fact that he passed him in goals. Ovechkin's 39. He broke his leg earlier in the season. He still has 42 goals. The Flyers have not had a 40-goal scorer since Jeff Carter, like 16 years ago. Ovechkin's doing it at 39.
Yeah. I hear you.
And I was also looking this up. Wayne Gretzky, still the GOAT, never had more than 40 goals after the age of 30. Ovechkin just did it at 39. On a good team, too.
Pretty
the Capitals
amazing.
are a good team.
Pretty amazing. He's just, he's still got, like, how long do you think he'll play?
I mean, at this point, you could see him playing another 5 years. He's going to get 1,000 goals, Mike.
All right, and I got these drafts up. I just want for quickly going over it. The first round picks last year. Zachary Richechet, kid from France, right? Now, did he elevate his team? He's a talented player. Alex Sarr from Perth, the Perth Wildcat in Australia. Reed Shepard from Kentucky. Stephen Castle from Connecticut. Now, he was on a national championship team, so I guess you could say he elevated his team. Ron Holland, who was in the G League. See where I'm going with this? A kid from France was next. Then Donovan Klinger from Connecticut. All right, he elevated his team. He hasn't done really much in the NBA yet, though.
Well, that's what my question is, though.
Zach Edey, he elevated his team.
How many of these guys who were drafted, let's say, in the top 5 of the NBA draft that didn't elevate their teams in college went on to really have successful careers in the NBA? I'm sure they're out there, but I would have to do more research in how likely is that to happen. I mean, in Philly, the examples we have are Ben Simmons and Fultz.
There are a lot of players that don't play for winning teams that really succeed in this league. That really, their teams weren't that successful, to be honest with you. So,
all this sounds like is that the yellow legal pad's going to get a workout before the NBA draft.
Yeah, he's looking at it now.
he's already
he's dying to prove me wrong.
The legal pads, man.
He'll look at another legal pad will come in.
I'm going through them.
Yeah, the legal pad, baby in the other hand, cooking, doing math homework.
My mom called me yesterday during the Phillies. What are you doing? I said, watch the Phillies game. You taking notes on your yellow legal pad? So even she knows.
Were you?
I always take notes on my yellow legal pad. I always have it in front of me.
I'm going to go to 2023 after this. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Bills take 2-3 over the champs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. The Phillies knocked off the Dodgers 8-7 on Sunday, taking 2-3 from the reigning World Series champions. Nick Castellanos had a massive grand slam, and after the bullpen nearly threw the game away, the Phillies rallied behind a big Bryson Stott hit. Edmundo Sosa's fielder's choice put them up for good. Sosa went 2 for 4 again, now hitting .550 on the early season. Rob Thompson spoke postgame about getting him in the lineup more often.
We got to really look at this because so far it's real. It's 2 hits every game. He's played great at third. He's played great at short. He did well in center field yesterday. So really got to get into the lab and try to figure out some stuff to get him in the lineup.
We'll keep you updated with whatever they do with the lineup. Tomorrow night, they're in Atlanta to begin a 3-game set with the Braves. Phils 7-2 in the early going. Elsewhere, 76ers in Miami to play the Heat tonight at 7:30. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. 76ers lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball world, Houston and Florida going to match up in the national championship game tonight. Tip-off for that one is at 8:50. This update's also brought to you by the new... Nope, that's it. That's all it's brought to you by. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
5 is how you get in. Bill, I don't know. I just may have heard a violation from you.
From me?
Yep.
Uh-oh, what'd I do?
All this whole year, you go, I'm going to take you to a Flyers game. I'm probably going to take you to a Flyers game. So who are you going to the Flyers game with next?
It's actually my last game of the year, too.
Last game of the year, you're taking your son?
I'm taking my son to his first game on Saturday.
And he said what to you?
He told me, well, he's excited about cotton candy, and then he told me he's going to play on my phone. He doesn't want to watch the hockey game. He goes, Dad, I'm not going to watch the game. I'm going to play on your phone. I said, No, you're not, buddy.
Okay. Now, I'm just saying that
Hold on.
think maybe the kid is too young to appreciate a hockey game. You could have called your buddy Mike, and for the last game of the year,
I had asked you about 2 months ago, and then I said, look, it was like a Thursday night or whatever. You're like,
couldn't
nah,
make
I don't
it that
care.
night.
I don't care.
No, it was there was a reason I couldn't make it.
No, you big time me.
No, I'm just saying, is it a violation for you to take your kid who has told you flat out he's not interested in the game at all? He wants to play on your phone.
Well, he's only
and
6.
Your buddy Mikey missed the last game that you have.
He's only 6, and the reason why I'm taking him is because it's a 12:30 game on a Saturday. It's like perfect. So, it's like the perfect day to bring him. We'll get there early. He'll watch Gritty, put on the boxing gloves, and do that whole Rocky thing they do before the game. I'm just trying to get him excited.
Right, what do you think?
I think anybody but my son could be considered a violation. Like if I was
it's
taking
tough to go against the son.
Yeah, like if I said to Mike, "Hey, I'm taking John Kincade on Saturday."
If the son was
right, that would have been a violation.
I can't wait to go to the hockey game. He doesn't care about the hockey game. He says, I'm not going to watch the hockey game. The kid.
Yeah, but you think about like the tiers of time spent with someone. The son has to be pretty high tier in terms of spending time.
It's not a bad tier. I'll give you that.
I'll
give you that. But if the kid's not interested, he's not interested. You take him when he's 9.
I'm trying to get him
when
into
he
sports.
might be interested.
He does not care about sports at all. At all.
Well, then let the kid find his own way. If he's not into sports, he's not into sports.
So,
was that a requirement for you?
No, but I'm going to try to make I'm not going to force it, but I'm trying to get him excited. Like, oh, yeah, buddy, we'll go get cotton candy. You'll see Gritty. Maybe he'll like the excitement of the game that the Flyers are out of it. It's not even that exciting of a game.
Heck of a game to grab him for.
Who are they playing?
The Islanders.
That'd be a good game. No. Have fun with the kid.
Yeah, Mike's hurt.
That's all right.
What hurts you more, that I'm taking my son or that I said you're better off air? That really rubbed Mike the wrong way last week when I said that.
So many things rub me the wrong way with you. I've lost count.
I did start to read the book, though. All seriousness, you said read chapter 7.
Started to read chapter 7?
I started to read chapter 7. It's extremely depressing, Mike.
It was a sad part of the season.
Yes, very sad.
Well, it turned out to be sad.
And I had never read your work before.
Two guys that were that played the prominent roles in that game. One passed away from cancer, and the other is, believe it or not, still living. The fullback Steve Smith, who played many years with the Raiders, suffers from ALS to the point where he's totally incapacitated. And I interviewed him in an incapacitated tone, and this is how he had to communicate with. Now, this is a viable, handsome, stout individual. He played at like 235. He was a bruiser. And his body had deteriorated. ALS had deteriorated to the point where the only way he could communicate with me was by operating a mouse that was between his knees, where he would squeeze it and it would go all over to the screen, and he would hit a letter at a time to spell out words and sentences.
Very sad. And I will say, I've never really read your work before, if you didn't know that already.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying this. Very good writer, Mike. It was almost like you were a writer before you were a sports talk host. Very descriptive, the words he uses. He's a very engaging writer. I only read a couple pages, but it was riveting stuff.
I almost feel like it's now, like, you not reading the book is a bad thing. You describing you reading the book is almost worse than you not reading the book.
I only read a couple pages, but you're a tremendous writer.
I was tremendously engaged for the 3 pages I put down.
I had it on the coffee table.
Not even 3, right? It was 2.
It's on the coffee table now.
It's probably started on half the page, so it's really 1.5.
Very small print, Ray. This is a long book. It is. It's very small print.
Stop it. All right, let me go down to 2023 NBA draft. Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Was he drafted because he elevated his team or because he's 7'100" and he's great at everything?
7 foot.
Brandon Miller, second pick in the draft. They drafted him completely, Ray, you'll verify this, completely on athletic ability, a 6'9" guard. Alabama didn't really do anything when he was there.
Of course not. No, Alabama was bottom feeder in the SEC.
Scoot Henderson and Thompson and Osor Thompson from the G League and Overtime Elite, and Anthony Black from Arkansas, who he didn't elevate his team. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make the point here.
Yeah, you got to take
really,
a chance.
You look at guys that have the ability. Can they shoot it? Can they handle it? Can they rebound? Are they tough? You look at all these components, and that translates. Instead of, well, why didn't this team win? Well, this team didn't win because they weren't good enough. That's what it comes down to.
Now, here's a crazy question. You've been a proponent, as a lot of people have, that the Sixers should make a change in the front office this offseason, right? You move on from Daryl Morey.
Yes.
However, one of the few things that Daryl Morey's done pretty well since he got here is the draft. Wouldn't you agree? He was a part of drafting Tyrese Maxey. He was a part of drafting Jared McCain. I mean, he's found players where you usually don't find stars that late in the draft, and Morey's been able to do it. So do you trust him with the draft, or do you decide we're going to move on and we're going to have a new regime come in and prepare for the NBA draft?
Listen, I don't know. It depends on how high this draft pick is. If it's a high draft pick, it's probably not a lot of, you don't.
Well, it's got to be top 6 or they don't have it, right?
Yeah. I don't know if anybody can mess up this high of a pick. Now, where his expertise has been later in the draft.
Yeah,
they're not going to have that pick. So I think any general manager can pluck from the first 7. I think.
You'd be surprised. I mean, Colangelo wasn't that good at it.
I don't know. You look at it; it's tough to miss when you have because the consensus players they're all ranked in accordingly, like in that area. Yeah,
I think if you're going to make a change, you make the change right away. Like, when's the end of the season? I know they got only a few games left, but when is the official
Sunday.
Last day? It's this Sunday?
Bulls on Sunday, 1 o'clock.
So would you expect Monday or Tuesday we would get news? Like, they're going to have to aren't they going to have to do some sort of announcement that Nick Nurse and Morey are coming back? Or do we just get crickets again?
You know what? I'm now this is going on. I'm thinking, like, unless this is done the day after the season, I think that you're going to see the same regime come back.
It's a tough sell, man, to this fan base.
Because if they're not doing it now, I'm starting to doubt whether they're ever going to do it, and unless they do it the day after the season. I don't know what the difference would be. There's only a 4 games left, a couple weeks left in the season. I don't know why. The more this goes on, the longer I'm thinking that maybe the whole regime's going to come back. In which case, I've already advocated for the whole front office to be fired. We got no chance to get Daryl Morey on. I'm thinking, which is the hardship of being a sports talk host, because you say stuff that you really believe, and then it'll hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to believe though if they bring back Morey. He's got to come on, right? He can't hide all offseason.
Listen, I hope so. And I can tell him, I'm like, I would ask him questions like, okay, why do you think that you should continue on to be the general manager of this team? Like, I would say, listen, the fact of the matter is this team really has regressed, and the moves you made have been colossal mistakes. Why do you deserve to come back?
Well, don't throw these questions out yet. I don't want them prepared.
Well, that's what I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to ask him. That's what I'm going to ask him. I mean, what else could I possibly ask him? I got to get right to the crux of the matter if we get on here.
Yeah. And then to throw salt in the wound on how bad this season was. How about the Detroit Pistons with Tobias Harris, man? It's like one of the how many wins did they have last year?
Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris over me?
The Pistons had 14 wins last season. And this year, they're not even in the play-in. They're going to be a top 6 team in the East.
And you ready for this? Tobias Harris had a better year than Paul George.
Not even close. Not even close. Better year.
Everybody wanted Tobias Harris's ass out of here. Look at the upgrade. Look at that upgrade. PG over Tobias Harris. Oh my God, that's how bad of a season it is. See, is that telling why this regime ought to be pushed out? Tobias Harris was better than the big free agent guy that you got for 4 years.
I actually remember being on the station the day Tobias signs with Detroit, and we were kind of like laughing at the contract. Oh, Detroit just needs to hit the floor. That's why they gave Tobias all that money. They're a top 6 team now.
Now, top 6 in the East.
It's not saying much, I know. But look, they went from 14 wins. They're already at 43.
Yes.
That's a huge
It's an
turnaround.
incredible story. It's been a great turnaround for them. There are only 6 teams in the East with a winning record.
Yeah, but let's look at the teams, Ray. The Cavaliers improved immeasurably. The Celtics kind of stayed the same. The Knicks kind of stayed the same. The Pacers improved. The Bucks, they're 10. The Bucks, for as bad as you think their season, they're 10 games over 500. And the Pistons are 43-35. The Magic regressed. The Hawks regressed. The Bulls played a lot better, and the Heat regressed. So yeah, that bottom feeder. But the top 6, you can make the case that the Pistons and the Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers ascended big time.
I mean, the Pacers pretty much have the same record in a worse East.
Yeah, but they're coming on lately. They started off really bad, and now they're 16 games over 500.
And last year, I think they won 46, 48, somewhere in there.
From where they were this year to where they are now as the 4th seed, I get it. The East doesn't look that formidable. But, I mean, I don't know. Is the West formidable? Yeah, I guess they're a little more formidable.
Yeah, I think they got a little better teams.
Yeah, they're a lot deeper in the top 6. All right.
But you may get a good first-round series. If the season ended today, I'm excited for Pistons Knicks. I'll be rooting for Tobias. Can you root for Tobias, Ray? Is that a violation as a Sixers fan?
Pistons can make that a series. Question. They can make that a series. They really could, depending on Brunson's health. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-632-0975.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Not that we need more Penn State success stories, but Penn State happens to be in the Frozen Four. Forget about the Final Four. The Frozen Four is the most important. Against hockey powerhouses, Denver, Western Michigan, and Boston U, and PSU gets in the Frozen Four. Bill, what do you think about that?
Penn State's the best, man.
Didn't Jonesy go to Western Michigan?
Is that where Jonesy went?
Keith Jones played at Western Michigan. You know who also played at Western Michigan? Former ESPN anchor John Saunders.
There's some useless knowledge for you right there.
Well, John Saunders passed away, man. Have some respect.
I'm just saying, who cares he went to Western Michigan?
He went to Western Michigan. He was a hockey player at Western Michigan. That's a good program they have.
I am not saying that. Oh, yeah, Jonesy did go to Western Michigan. That's a good call by you.
See that? See, I don't know my hockey.
That is a good call.
I don't know my hockey.
But, Penn State's got Boston U April 10th.
Oh, that's tough. That's going to be tough for them.
The best was when the Frozen Four was here in Philly. I went, and that's when Shane Gostisbehere helped his team win the national title.
Union, did he?
Yes. And,
see?
And I remember watching him. I remember watching him play. Like, oh my God, yes, he's going to help the Flyers so much.
Whatever happened to his career, man?
I think he's with. Is he on the Panthers still? Or where's he at now? He's on the Hurricanes.
He's still in the league, huh?
Yeah, he's on the Hurricanes.
Much about him.
He's got 44 points this season.
Does he really?
Yeah. Flyers, man.
Well, he just couldn't defend, right? Is that what his problem
Yeah, he never went to the Panthers. I don't know where I got that. But he's bounced around. So after the Flyers, he went to the Coyotes, Hurricanes, Red Wings, and now he's back with the Hurricanes.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a stud.
Yeah, I thought if you watched him in that Frozen Four, he was unbelievable. I think he had 6 goals in that national title game or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at us talking hockey. Frozen Four.
Well, it's
Alex Ovechkin.
Because we got, on my personal Twitter, which is MikeMiss25, this guy's been, pulling my chain here about why we don't talk more about hockey.
Well, right now, what is there to talk about?
I try to. I say to him, listen, bro. Unfortunately, I know hockey's your thing, but unfortunately, in the pie that is Philadelphia sports, it occupies a very small slice. And he writes back, that's why it's time to build it up. Teach the fans and educate them on the rules, players, prospects. This is a 4-for-4 city station, and it's time we get all the lost fans back because we clearly know the Sixers are done for a while. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but even still.
We're not going to educate fans to make the Flyers bigger in scope in this town.
But I could almost get behind the argument if the Flyers were good. Like, the Flyers are one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League right now. We haven't had competitive hockey here in a long time. We haven't had playoff hockey here in a long time. Like, when the Flyers are in the playoffs, Mike, there is a level of excitement in the city. It's just been way too long since we got it. And I really want it back. Because when the Flyers make those postseason runs and you go down there and they got the block parties and you're outside and it's hot and you're wearing those orange T-shirts that they give you to walk into the – I mean, there's nothing better than that. At least for me. I know there's some people who aren't hockey fans, but everybody enjoys playoff hockey when the Flyers are in it. That's what we need.
Not really.
There would be a level of excitement.
No, not really. No, listen, the Flyers and hockey occupy a very small sliver. And I hate that disappoints people when you say that because they don't want it to be that way. It's their favorite sport. They want it to be larger in scope. It's just not. And it doesn't matter if the Flyers are in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it brings you a little more excitement, but not enough to say we should be talking Flyers. It's just unfortunate that that's the way it is.
Yeah, but you would agree when the Flyers go on a run to the Stanley Cup like they did that year, it was unexpected with Richards and Carter.
It still doesn't go higher than the Sixers.
No, but in the moment when the Sixers aren't in the playoffs, there is a buzz around the city for the Flyers.
Yeah.
People, we would be if the Flyers were in the Stanley Cup Finals, we wouldn't be talking about it on the air.
Finals are different.
Eastern Conference Finals we'd be talking about.
Eastern Conference Finals,
we would be talking about.
Maybe.
People would be interested.
It's hard to explain. I know you get your feelings.
No, I get it 100%.
I don't know.
Our job is to relate to a majority of the audience.
Right. We're not here to teach the game to people.
Correct. However, where I disagree with you, because of all my years of experience compared to yours, where I disagree with you is just that I think when the Flyers are in like the second round of the playoffs, even the casual fan is invested in wanting to talk about Flyers. If they're on a playoff run, people are invested. You don't think that if they were actually a contender, there would be more bandwagon fans?
Maybe there'd be more, but not enough to say that they're more important than any other sport in this town.
No, I agree with you.
So they still occupy that same fourth spot, and they're never going to get out of that fourth spot as far as the pecking order of attention goes. The Sixers have drama. The Flyers don't give you drama, and unless they were playing for something. Like, there's no drama in hockey as much as there is in the NBA. There's drama all the time in the NBA.
True.
And the drama is what you talk about. That's what makes it talkable.
Now, you were on the air back then. John Brenner on our YouTube chat says, during the Lindros years, people were talking hockey more than basketball and baseball.
No, they weren't.
Not true?
No. They were talking hockey, but not more than baseball or basketball.
Even though back then,
the Sixers stunk back then.
Well, not real. I mean, 01, the Sixers were good.
Yeah, 97, they weren't.
Yeah, in 97 when the Flyers got swept by the Red Wings.
I think like there's just more interest in basketball in general than there is in hockey because there's like it's demographic. The sport is demographically challenged.
Yeah,
it's like white people will like both the Flyers and the Sixers. But black people won't pay attention to hockey at all. And so the numbers itself are reduced because of that.
That's not always true.
It's true.
Look at our man Rasheed Wallace. Huge Flyers fan.
What are you going to give me, 2 or
Huge
3?
Flyers fan.
2 or 3? Well, like what's the percentage of black people who follow hockey?
Well, one of the things that Ed Snyder, who was a great owner. I know that he made some mistakes along the way, but one of the things that he did really well, and that continues now,
Dr. Evil,
is the Ed Snyder Foundation that tries to bring the game of hockey to the inner cities. Because it's a sport that has not usually connected with some of the inner city, but that's something Ed Snyder's done really well with his youth foundation.
Oh, my God.
He has.
Okay, if you say so. Let's go back to the text board. Right, what do we got on the text?
All right, we got some people with the frugal stuff from today. Jamal from West Philly, I refuse to pay for snacks at the movie theater. My wife brings her big bag and we load up at the dollar store. I feel like that's common.
That's a violation.
Now, that I have done.
That is a total violation to bring a bag of candy into a movie theater.
No way. Have you seen how expensive candy is there?
It doesn't matter.
It's a waste.
When you go to movies, you commit to paying overpriced for the candy and the popcorn. You can't bring your own stuff in. It's like taking rolls home.
No.
Come on, Bill.
Wait a second.
That's like a Seinfeld episode where Kramer brought in a bag of candy.
There's no rule that says you can't bring candy into the movie theater.
There's no rule, but it's cheesy.
Have you seen?
Like, come on.
All right, so you're telling me a family. I have 3 kids now. My youngest isn't old enough yet to go to the movies. But if I'm going to take them to the movies and each one of them wants a candy, I should drop like $8 on a candy that I could get next door for $1.99.
Price of doing business, my friend.
Nah.
You go to the movies.
Nothing wrong with sneaking that in.
You buy the candy and you buy the popcorn, and you got to commit to it. If not, don't go to the movies.
So me and my kids will go to the supermarket. I'll get the candy first. I'll get the drinks. I'll load up my pockets.
You're a cheap
I'll go in. What I will get at the movie theater is the popcorn.
You're a cheap ass.
We'll get the popcorn
Big
there.
sophisticated lawyer who made a ton of money.
You know how much money it is to go to the movies these days?
You're chonesing on candy bars?
Damn right.
No wonder why you think you could take rolls home.
It's like $9.
What else you got, Ray?
Speaking of taking rolls home, a different kind of roll. Amanda from Denver. Is this a violation? I went out to eat with someone to an all-you-can-eat sushi bar. You aren't allowed to take the food you didn't eat. She brought Ziploc bags and put about 20 rolls into them. I was horrified.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's a massive violation.
That's a breakup. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Seriously, that woman has no integrity whatsoever.
Now, you did pay for the sushi.
Yeah, but it's a buffet. It's all you could eat there. It's not all.
I told the servant the guy taking home lobsters on lobster night.
Yeah, you can't.
And a doggy, but you can't do that. What else you got?
It's all you could eat. You only need one plate.
Nah, I would do that. Okay, here's another one. I wouldn't, by the way, I would never do that on a date, but if I was out with friends.
Would you take candy into a movie theater?
Oh, for sure.
You would.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to it's coming from the guy. He won't pay 10 cents for a bag at the supermarket.
Right, because
but yet you'll overpay for candy at a movie theater.
Because that's the deal. You know that going in. That's the deal. If you want snacks, popcorn, candy, you're going to have to pay for that.
I haven't been to a movie theater in
I
half a decade.
haven't either. But when I go, I'm getting the Raisinets, I'm getting the popcorn, and I know I'm in for another $20.
All right.
You know what I sneak in? A Kind bar.
Really?
Yeah, I get that nice dark chocolate Kind bar, and then I'll eat some of the popcorn there, the salty sweet. It's pretty good.
Shocks me. What else?
Diane from Lancaster, this one. Whenever one of my kids ended up in the ER, I filled my purse with Band-Aids. Once went a year without buying any.
Interesting.
Now, that's thievery. That's just thievery. You got a stressed out emergency room, and you're going to take the Band-Aids from him? I mean, all it does is hike the stay of a hospital.
Now, hold on. You know, we just had the baby. We were told by the nurses in the whatever they call that, maternity ward, make sure you clean out everything. Take the diapers, take the wipes and all, because we have to throw them away anyway. They specifically told us to take everything that was on
Let me ask you
the
a question.
cart.
You're in an emergency room. Are you stocking up on Band-Aids?
Probably.
All right, then that's the end of story.
I also agree. Sebastian Maniscalco has said in his stand-up, a box of Band-Aids should be a lifetime purchase. That box of Band-Aids should last you your whole life.
No, not necessarily. If you're a chef, you slice your fingers all the time. If you cook, you don't cook. So, you know.
Box of Band-Aids, I still have. You don't overuse the Band-Aids.
I'm pretty sure I got a first aid thing like when I left for college.
You still have the Band-Aids.
Yeah, I still have the whole thing.
Let me ask you this question. Do you buy the generic Band-Aid or do you buy Band-Aid?
I always go Band-Aid.
You're not going generic, right? You going generic?
I'm telling you, I haven't bought any of them because I'm still living off of the thing from when I was 18 and I got it.
Band-Aid is the way to go.
I would buy generic.
Yeah, the other one cuts corners on the sticky stuff. They don't last as long as the Band-Aid's a premier Band-Aid.
No, but if you cut yourself bad enough that warrants multiple Band-Aids, then you should probably go get a doctor. So that's why I think a Band-Aid box should last you your whole life.
No, because you nip your fingers. It's not like you're not bleeding a geyser. You're just
but there's like 50 Band-Aids in a box.
Yeah, but you're gonna like how many?
You cut your hands 50 times. You need to get a knife lesson.
You snip your hand every now and then, like 20 times a year.
20 times a year.
Yes,
Ray. You cut your hands 20 times a year.
I scrape my knuckles doing labor around the house or outside too. You don't do that? Oh, of course, you don't do any of that. All right. This was a fun show. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be back. I'll be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to a little golf tournament. What do they call it?
I believe it's a tradition unlike any other.
It is. I think they call it the Masters. But we'll be here tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Play the Heat tonight at 7:30. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatics. 76ers have lost 11 in a row, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. Also in the basketball